Yes, welcome to another podcast of the Saints Martini. Of course, with your hosts, Irish the Halo, and myself, Warren the Saint. Which is not the original Saint. It's not the original Saint theme, actually. It's actually the second one. One day we'll talk about it.
You're not playing the original Saint theme.
I know. Well, I can only play a tiny bit of it, because we breached copyright.
I meant the one you were singing. Are you telling me that you weren't the original vocalist on the...
Oh, no, I wasn't the original vocalist. There's no actual vocalist.
I'm sorry. You see, I'm going to be hard to handle today.
Well, we play a tiny little bit of Orbital, the band Orbital's version of the Saint from the Val Kilmer movie of the Saint.
I see.
But they actually bought the rights to the original piece of music, which I don't know was written by John Barry. I'm not 100% sure. For the British TV series of the Saint, which starred Roger Moore, which is the one most people are aware of. Now, all the movies before that used a different theme, and the radio shows actually used a different theme. It wasn't do-do-do-do-do-do, it sort of went do-do-do-do-do-do. It was a little bit different. And but
I
today...
love it when you serenade me, though. I do. Wonderful.
But I'm under the balcony at the moment. I've got my... Was it my lyre? Lyre? No, mandolin. Mandolin? No, whatever it was called. The... I don't know. The little guitar that they always have in Romeo and Juliet.
I'm just going to let you struggle with it. It's more fun.
But yes, but pretty much now the established Saint theme is the one that was used in the Roger Moore series. Even though it wasn't used in the Ian Ogilvy series, it wasn't used in the series after that, it wasn't used in the series after that. But then it was reused again in the movie with Val Kilmer, the prequel movie, and of course it was used in the very latest Saint movie from a couple of years ago. So it's kind of now been established, and I'm just crapping and boring the shit out of anybody. How are you, Irish?
I am riveted at the moment to this discussion we're having. Other than that, I have nothing to contribute today. I haven't done anything interesting. Nothing interesting is happening. I have nothing clever to say, so I don't know what to tell y'all.
I think you will. It's been an interesting week on the world stage. We've had a government resign over one of the biggest public disasters in human history. We've had the presidential, vice presidential nominee announced for the Democratic Party. We've had Trump coming out with more lunacy than I think is anyone ever conceived was even humanly possible. He's now openly talking about trying to rig an election in plain sight, which blows my mind. So there's a lot going on to talk about. But before
nothing's going on. Nothing is happening,
nothing to see
Warren.
here.
I told you. Nothing.
But before we do anything, I should ask, what is your cocktail of choice for cocktails and conversations? Or, I don't know, just whatever is your booze. Is it
whatever my booze is.
Moonshine?
You know what?
Is it bathtub gin?
Ooh, no. That sounds like a fetish, but that's for another show.
No. All you do is pour vodka into a bucket and then add whatever flavours you want. You get gin. Pretty easy to make gin.
Well, it might be. That might be fun to try, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But I was actually told by a friend of mine that, yes, she thought for sure we do need a cocktail of the week. So next week, I'm definitely going to have one. But I thought, okay, one, I don't want to just do wine again because that's boring and that's not a cocktail. And once, I've done a martini here and there. I've done a thing, just to get off the wine a little bit, even though once it was just sake. I'm very sorry about that. I won't be doing that again. And this time I thought, I would like to have a cocktail, but see, here's the thing. I also didn't want to go to the store. So I have the walking up to a bar and the bartender says, what do you have? And you go, I have no idea what I want. So I'm going to go with the old reliable rum and Coke. That is what I am drinking today.
Ah, okay. Now, dark
Because
rum.
I couldn't think of anything else. No.
Or what?
Dark liquor does not agree with me.
So you're having the North American or the Central American version, which is with
Yeah, I'm
white
doing
rum.
a Caribbean white, like a light rum. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Because in Australia,
and
if
then
you
just Coca-Cola, straight Coca-Cola.
right, because if you have a rum and coke in Australia, you always get dark rum, brown rum.
Well, I would normally do that, and I like spiced rum, but what we had was really cheap Caribbean white rum. So I was going with that because, as I said, I didn't want to go to the store. We've discussed my lack of ability to keep myself from buying a discount box wine. So this time I thought I'm gonna keep it simple, and also with what we had in the cabinet. I've pretty much cleaned out the rest of the good stuff. So,
well, I just have now the local bottle-o or that's bottle shop, alcohol shop. On my
liquor store,
as you call it, in my favorites in my browser, and I just simply go there. Yeah, some vodka. Oh, yeah, some scotch. That looks good. Yeah, okay. Grab all that. Hit buy. Delivery time within 2 hours. No worries, and it turns up.
Yeah, I had to stop doing that because I was spending a lot on 1.5 liter bottles of wine, and the people delivering it were getting huge pectoral muscles, and I thought it was just not healthy for any of us. I didn't need to see that.
You were saving the money in gym fees, so you know. You
can't you shouldn't go to the gym right now.
No,
nobody should.
No,
I'm going to be honest. I went a couple of times because my gym tried to say, "Oh, it's going to be fine." So I went in there mostly because I needed to use the tanning bed because I really hate to lay out in the sun, but also I don't like my pale ass, almost bluish skin when I don't. So I actually just wanted to go to the tanning booth, which is not one of the lay down coffin kinds where you have to lay for 30 minutes. I hate those things. And also gross because you have to touch stuff. It's a booth where you stand up and you don't have to touch anything, and it only takes 10 minutes. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go down there. So then I thought, well, as I'm driving down there, I thought, well, maybe I'll get on, one of the treadmills and walk a little bit like a high incline with a mask on or something. And I went in there and nobody is wearing a mask. Nobody. And they're on these treadmills and elliptical machines and doing all this stuff, and they're congregating together over near the free weights, and people are running on treadmills without masks on. And I was just freaking out. And so I can't go back in there until this is over.
No,
so,
I fully understand.
It's been really stressful.
I mean, a gym as well. I mean, a gym is just like, you just think about it, it's kind of like Corona Central. But
seriously. And I'm a little bit obsessed with keeping my hands clean, so I feel like they're going to be just peeling with the alcohol that I'm using on them, and and how many times I'm washing them, and it wasn't enough. People were just walking around without masks on, freaking me out. So.
I think my problem is that I think if I was in the United States right now, I would just feel very uncomfortable because it would be like there are so many people who are making. Like, they are purposely not following safety rules because their politics won't allow it. And that terrifies the fuck out of me, that there are people like that. Thank God in Australia, they're very few and far between. So, it's like, there was, actually, before I tell you this story, here we go. Hang on, can we? And, hang on, wait, as we say.
Okay, I don't know what you're doing over there, but maybe you should do that in private.
It is. It is a champagne conversation. So anyway,
is this is for the VIP lounge stuff.
Wait
a minute.
Oh, okay. No, it's actually because I inherited about 6 bottles of Bruschetta, so I'm just basically working my way through them. To be truthful. So this is my second one, so I've got 4 left.
I'm
I
very
just inherited
impressed.
them basically.
I want you to know that. That's very exciting, actually.
But yes, there was Melbourne, of course, as we have discussed, is in what they call stage 4 lockdown, which is a little bit like what New York went through. Basically all the businesses are shut. There's no one out on the street, or very few. You need permits to go to work. You need permits to go here. You need permits to go there. There's soldiers on the streets. There's fines up to $20,000 for an individual, up to $100,000 for companies if they breach the law. We're under a state of emergency or state of disaster, which I think they tend to call it. Masks are mandatory. You will get a charge, possibly even arrested, if you challenge the police. And we had a stupid young woman, obviously with shall we just say, a far-right political agenda, who decided she would challenge a police officer during the week. Now, we've talked about on this show before about how police brutality needs to be reined in. This time, I actually, believe it or not, sided with the police officer, because what she did, she was walking down the street not wearing a mask, which is against the law. Two police officers challenged her, all right? She told them to get fucked, told the police officer to get fucked, raised her middle finger to them, then approached one of the officers and grabbed him by his stab vest. You are not allowed to go and grab a police officer, right?
Right.
He then put her into a chokehold, not like the one we saw that killed the man.
Well, that was straight up murder.
No, not like that.
George Floyd. You're speaking of George Floyd.
It was. I believe this is an actual trained thing where they are trained in this, and the second police officer kept saying, let me go, and the other police officer kept saying, we will let you go when you let go of the officer. But she's grabbed him by the stab vest, right? She's screaming. Her boyfriend there is filming the whole thing, okay? And the boyfriend's there going, oh, you're arresting her because she won't wear a mask, police state, blah, and all of this sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's women like her and her boyfriend are the reason why we're in quarantine right now. Because they breach the law, and there are millions of people unemployed. There are businesses closing down. There are people losing their jobs. There are people worried about whether they can pay the mortgage next week. And it's because of fuckwit assholes like that girl. Because of her political beliefs. So as far as I'm concerned, kick her down and put her in jail. I'm sorry. I know it's harsh, but...
No, it's not, actually.
There's 5 million people that need to be protected. And political assholes like that should not be allowed to do what they do.
See, there's a difference in the type of police brutality that goes on here, which what we've been talking about, and maybe there, when we've talked about Aboriginal people there, but also people of color here. Police brutality is just a given in some instances where they could pull you over for a broken taillight and you're going to end up dead. And it doesn't make sense, okay? But, see, here's the thing. I'm going to can I just ask you, and I don't mean to, totally bring race into it, but I'm just going to assume that this young lady was white?
Oh, yeah. White officer, white woman, yeah.
Okay, the white woman. Okay, see, here's the problem. You are exactly right about what you're saying about that type of person being the ones that are keeping us in this mess. Because here in the U.S., our biggest problem are dumbass fucking white people. And I'm noticing a lot of, and we call them now, the internet refers to them as Karens, okay?
Yes.
Middle-aged white women with the haircut. And they're the ones who are refusing to wear masks. They're the ones, getting out onto their sidewalk to yell at people of color who are just doing their job, doing landscaping and stuff around the area, to come tell them they don't belong in the neighborhood, screaming in their faces. They're the ones in Trader Joe's. And I'm not just saying it's just these women. It's also dumbass redneck white men. Okay? The problem, and I'm going to be really honest with you, is you're right. It's a political ideology in a sense, because these are the people that vote conservatively. And they're also dumbass white people who have too much fucking privilege that think it's acceptable because they don't want to wear a mask in Walmart for 10 minutes to go cough in somebody's face or spit on someone's baby because they're mad, or to take their stuff out of their cart and throw it across the grocery store, one item after another, because they're being asked to follow the same rules in society as every other fucking person. And that's the problem. White people must be stopped. I'm just it's gotta happen, man. Well, I am embarrassed to be a white American, especially these days. I didn't used to feel that way necessarily. I knew there were people who were racist and stuff, but I didn't necessarily feel embarrassed to be white. But these people make me embarrassed to be walking down the street as a white woman, and especially at my age at this point now, when I think people look at me and just make assumptions. And it pisses me off that I might be grouped in with these dumbasses that have put our country in this situation right now, and who continue to keep us in this situation right now. And I'm going to admit, we talked about this before. I've got members of my family that are also dumbass, middle-aged white people who don't have any fucking sense. And it just makes me mad. And we discussed, me having to take somebody to the hospital recently, and how another person reacted to only one of us being permitted in. Yep. And it was just like, and the whole conversation was, well, they should just, this whole COVID thing, and they won't let me in. They should just let me in. It's like, well, okay, so they just want to change the rules for you, white girl? Is that what it is you're saying?
Well, it's
like not anybody else, but for you. Why are you so important that they have to break the rules just because you are ranting in the lobby of the emergency room? Like, why?
Because when you've had privilege for so long, and suddenly now you're the same as everybody else. Okay, so in a sense that racial privilege is not really any different to, let's say, financial privilege. It's a little bit like, oh, I'm Lord Snottyton the Fourth. And I deserve it. I've
seen my own biases recently. I've seen them.
And it's like, and then suddenly in a situation, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It's like everybody's now equal, and it's like, oh, but my privilege. And it's the same whether it be white people, because especially as you're sort of saying in the United States, they've been used to for so long being the dominant racial group, and now suddenly
European whites all over the world have felt that way since the beginning of time. So yes, I get that.
Yes, yeah. That is very true. It's very true. I mean, so it's just privilege, of any sort. But at the moment, it's racial privilege, and I looked, as far as I'm concerned, I want these Karens. I mean, obviously, I don't want them hurt or anything like that, but I have no problem putting them in jail. I have no problem putting them in jail. Even
I'm sorry. That was going to be my point. And I don't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to finish what I was saying. Here in the U.S., people like that, and it was, I digress again. The people like that, okay. When the woman in Australia was walking down and she did that, they took her ass to jail, okay? Put her in a chokehold and took her ass to jail. But see, here in the U.S., white people can get away with stuff like this and nothing happens to them. While a black man can be murdered in the street while cops stand around and watch it happen, and other people can't do anything because, again, you can't put your hands on a cop, right? Nobody could do anything to help this man, George Floyd, when this happened, and many other people of color who have been systematically killed by police in our country. He was accused of maybe using a counterfeit $20 bill, and he got a death sentence in the street. That's the difference. White people in our country can go and cough into your face or cough into your baby's face in a market and put you guys at risk and maybe give you a disease that could kill you. And nothing happens to them. Once in a while now, somebody's being, held to account in some way, but I don't know that they're putting them in jail. I do know a couple of women have been arrested. I think a guy got arrested, but sometimes these people, it just leads to assault, and they will assault and they'll come out. There was a guy recently that shot at cops, a white guy. Nothing happened to him. He was upset about having to wear a mask. And they just took him into custody with no incident. So again, let a person of color try that. Let them try it. See what happens. Because we know what happens. It's happened over and over again. They get a coroner. So
it's not acceptable.
And that was my point. And I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No. You're not interrupting. You're talking. It's all good.
I'm always talking.
It's not my show. It's not my show. Just one of the people here, but it's interesting. It is interesting. But what it brings up, actually, a point before we maybe get into the real news of the week, and that was that we've been meaning to talk about this for a while, and it's police shows. We keep saying we're going to talk about this, and I don't think we've ever got around to it. And that is that now in 2020, after like with the Black Lives Matter movement, what's the future of cop shows or cop movies? Like, do they have a future, or or what about shows like, for instance, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which are a comedy that actually does address racism and Black Lives Matter itself anyway. Plus, it's a comedy.
I like that.
What's the future? What's the future?
I think right now, from where I sit and the things that I am privy to, the entire industry for film and TV, at least here in the U.S., is changing. The way they look at doing everything is changing. And I said to somebody recently that these times are crazy, but they're also like catalytic in a way that they are creating mass change within the way society looks at things. Thank God. Things that have needed to change for a long time. We're finally starting to get more Black-centric shows and things like that. That push is coming from the stuff that's been going on with Black Lives Matter for sure. There's been a growing bit of willingness to recognize Black directors and stuff. You knew what I think really drove it initially in Hollywood was when they got Black Panther done.
Right.
And
okay.
I really feel like with all the work that's been put in over time to get people to look at projects with Black directors and Latino directors and all these things, I really feel like it changed the game when a studio like Marvel, who had massive hits with their movies, the Avengers films and all of the stuff connected to those, when they took the time and took the care to create Black Panther, it brought in a whole new wave of people who now love superhero movies because they got to go to a movie and see somebody that looked like them on screen, who was the hero for a change. And I'm going to tell you, money talks in Hollywood. And what Hollywood saw was that and I don't know how sincere it is within the higher ups at studios and things like that. I don't know. What I know is that they saw it was working, and it was bringing in new viewers and new people of interest that they never thought they could get. You know, what I found out when I was working on Legion of Rue is that there are a lot of people of color that wanted to do fantasy, high fantasy, like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and things like that. They wanted to be in those roles, but nothing was ever written for them.
Right. Okay.
Okay. They want, like, I know now so many Black cosplayers, and I am so excited about it. And one of the things in casting that we realized a long time ago is that even if you did get a call for a character that was of color, and most of the time it was like a best friend, this or that, there wasn't that many people to choose from, because Black people who might have been great working as an actor or actress never took the chance to do it because they didn't see anybody on the shows or the movies that looked like them. Not really. Once in a while. And once in a while a show would get picked up and you'd get a Black actor, get their own series and things like that, and it would go great for a while, but nobody really put the money into it. Black Panther changed that. And so now what I think is that they're really taking a look at how they can attract better audiences, more diverse audiences. They realize that people have money to spend, and they'll spend it if they have people on the screen that they can relate to or that they want to be.
Well, how do you feel about the idea that, for instance, now we're seeing it in Doctor Who, and we're seeing it in a few other shows. We're definitely seeing it, we've actually seen it probably for the last 20 years, in small theatre. Okay, in theatre.
Right.
And that is historical roles being taken of people by different race. So, for instance, the idea of an Asian playing George Washington, of a Black woman then playing Martha Washington. The idea of, people like not casting on race anymore. In other words, you see everything as a blancmange and you just cast the best actor and you don't worry what their ethnic background may be. Now, that's fine in general storytelling, but what about in historical drama? How do you feel about that?
Well, I'll tell you something recently I saw, because Disney Plus put it out for streaming, the stage version of Hamilton, which I'd heard the music from. I knew everybody wanted to see it. I had heard great things about Hamilton, but the entire cast is people of color, except for the guy who plays the king, King George. And I had heard both sides from people, how they thought it was why do that? These are historical characters and blah, blah, blah. So let me tell you something. I really enjoyed it. And here's part of the reason why. I thought the stage production was amazing. They didn't have to have big elaborate sets. It was a thing here or there. The show was so engaging and the characters are so great. And the flow of it was great. Now, I understand that maybe people have some issue with them kind of idolizing and holding up again, white colonialist men who were a lot of them slave owners and stuff. But I didn't look at it that way. What I saw honestly was, looking at the cast with Lin-Manuel Miranda and all of these people of color playing all these different roles, and oh my God, they were so great, is I see a connection between what's happening in this show, Hamilton, and what's going on now currently with the revolution of people trying to stand up against what looks like it might be an authoritarian government. But what I see differently here is that the way they cast it made me look at what the potential for our country may have been if slavery and skin color hadn't been a thing at all. Because you think about, as you watch this, that these people that are playing these roles easily could have been these people. They could have done these things in our country if they had been in a position to be given a chance to do that. And I think about how the people of color over time in our country being so suppressed, especially the way things started, and how over time systematically society has worked to just keep them suppressed as much as possible while maintaining the illusion of freedom. How much we missed. How many great minds were left picking cotton in a field because they didn't have another opportunity. How far our country could have been if we had just loved people instead of trying to own them. And I just think it's such a fucking shame. So I look at that show and think what we might have been. And I think I have no problem with casting a show like that. I do think sometimes when you do historical things, if it's race related, if it's something that's important, say you're not going to make all the Nazis in a movie all black people or color, people of color. So it's like you're not going to have different races playing it unless you're specifically making a statement. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I can see why you'd only want to cast white people as Nazis, So yeah, probably.
Yes, the Nazis. That's also maybe a little bit too. How do we say? History's a little bit too close. But let's say we go back in history 1,000 years, 1,500 years, 2,000 years. All right. Mm-hmm. Would it really matter if Richard III was played by a black man or an Asian man? Would it matter? Would it really matter? And here's a classic example. In the 1980s, Hollywood made a miniseries called Masada, which was based on the great story of Jewish rebellion against the Romans, in the castle of Masada. If people don't know what I'm talking about, where the fuck were you during history class when you were at school? But anyway.
America.
Or go back to your school and ask for a refund. But anyway, but the interesting thing about that, even though they got the ending of that show totally wrong, because of course, according to the Old Testament, and the writings of the time, the Jews, of course, all committed suicide. We now know that that's actually probably not true. They actually probably didn't do that. The reason for that, which is the Romans actually wanted to make, it was, what do you want to call it? Political propaganda. The Romans wanted to make the Jews look like internationally, like they were cowards. So they killed
Right.
themselves rather than fighting. Now, what we now basically believe, especially from the archaeology of the site, is that the Jews went down fighting. They went down with sword swinging.
Okay.
It was not. Would there have been some suicides? Yeah, probably. But realistically, it was not the way the Romans told it.
Well, of course not. Propaganda.
Yeah.
History is
Now,
written by the winners.
but at the time, when in the 1980s, it was still generally believed that the Jews committed suicide. Even the Jews believed that they committed suicide.
Right.
Now, the interesting thing about that TV miniseries is the way they ran it was that they had all the Jews were played by American actors with American accents, and all the Romans were played by British actors with British accents to try to differentiate the cultures. Okay? And I thought, you know what? It wasn't a bad idea. The only thing was that in the 1980s, America was more of an empire than Britain was, so maybe it should have been reversed. But you get the idea. And I thought,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's interesting. But isn't there something, too, in regards to Hamilton, where the cast's black, the king's white? That's the whole idea. It's about breaking away from your overlords. In other words, the story of America, in many ways, is actually trying to explain the story of modern black civil rights, but told through the War of Independence.
Right.
I don't know. Am
Yeah,
I wrong, or am I?
No, I
please,
kind of see
I'm
where
interested.
you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just curious to know, because I'm not a friggin' expert, I'm an idiot. So,
Everyone's an idiot, Warren, unless they're not, and that's rare. So,
So no, it's just all thoughts, basically.
well, back to the cop show thing, though, in regards to how things are changing now. I think that we have deified police officers and people who have guns and power in a way through our media for such a long time. I think it's going to be hard to break away from that for Hollywood. I do like shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine where they kind of make fun of the stuff. I also feel like once in a while you don't want everybody to be disrespecting police, but here's the thing: if we're going to have police, then they should be fucking respectable.
Yes.
They shouldn't be held to a lower standard than the average citizen. They should be held to a higher standard. And I feel like I would like to live in a world where the people that are there that are actually just supposed to be there as peace officers. I don't know whether or not that's a weird term now. It is to me. It's kind of ironic now that that's officers.
Yes.
The peace officers. That's such fucking bullshit lately. But I would like to live in a society where the people that are there to help protect us from things that might harm us are above board. That we don't have to think about the fact that since the beginnings of the 70s and 80s that they've been working to systematically get Klan members and white supremacists into police stations across the country. I even just watched another documentary on that earlier today. It's fucking scary. And when you see pictures of our police officers standing in groups and making the stupid little OK sign down there, which is a freaking white supremacist sign, there's a reason they're doing that. And people saying, oh, they're just saying OK or whatever. You know what? You're full of shit. Either you're full of shit or you're lying to me, or you're just a fucking ignorant rube who doesn't want to see the truth.
That's what I heard. Someone told me. I mean, we're going back to, the Charlottesville, which is just, let's just call it Charlottesville. Everyone knows what that is.
Yeah.
I can still remember a guy, won't mention his name, telling me that no, it was about history. It was about these far left wingers trying to destroy history and historic, documents, monuments, whatever. And I said, hang on, how does marching through the street carrying a tiki torch, chanting blood and soil, have anything to do with...
Jews will not replace us.
Jews will not replace us. And then a white member of the Ku Klux Klan hopping in a car and running a woman over. How does that have anything to do with defending history? I'm sorry, no. Because all that's an excuse. That's an excuse for you to allow your far-right bigoted, no, actually, I'll rephrase all of that because all of them I found always have an out. These far righters, and when we're saying far righters, I'm not talking about, conservative movements of the world. I'm talking about the far righters, which unfortunately the Republican Party seems to have embraced. But they always have an out. And we've mentioned this before about how they always have an out. So, for instance, they will hate people of race and religion, but they'll accept homosexuals. Or they'll hate homosexuals and race, but they'll allow people of something else. Like, they always have a fucking out, all of them. And it's like the serial killer who kills 100 people and lets one person go, and in that mind, it justifies to themselves that they're a good person. And you will find with all of these far righters, they're all the same. They all have an out, which makes them, in their mind, believe they're good people. When it's like fucking, Milo Yiannopoulos or Mr. or
Andy, no.
Yeah, or what is it? Pedophile of the year? Should we just call him Mr. Pedophilia? That's really what. I'll do the Trump thing, that he calls Daddy. Hello, Daddy. Well, I'll tell you what, Daddy. Why don't we do what your fucking daddy does, and let's give you a cool nickname. So I've called you Mr. Pedophilia because you publicly on 3 occasions have said you like to have sex with little boys. So, Mr. Pedophilia, it is Milo.
Milo. Well, okay.
Right?
Well, yeah.
So Milo.
He's
Mr.
banned from Twitter.
Well, he's a fucking pedophile. He should be banned from fucking Twitter. He should be banned from fucking. He shouldn't be allowed within a fucking kilometre of his school.
Human fucking being.
Right.
See, here's the problem. People on that side of the fence are horrible human beings, and it just look, whatever their fucking problems are, I just have a real issue with all of them, and I just. Oh God!
But see,
I don't want.
But here's the classic example. See, he has his out because he says, "Oh, I'm gay and I have a black boyfriend. Therefore, Go ahead. So therefore, I am a good person. No, you're not. You're a misogynist. You push anti-homophobic ideology, even though you're gay. You're like, that old concept, the term that used to be used, which is horrible, but people used to use the self-hating Jew, right? Which is a terrible thing to say. Terrible thing to say. But he kind of follows that thing that's a little bit like, oh, because I'm gay, I'm allowed to be anti-gay marriage. It's like, well, you can be whatever you are, but it doesn't give you any more or less of a right to a belief. He attacks women endlessly. He attacks people of colour endlessly. He attacks people of any religion which isn't his endlessly. He's a fucking asshole. He's a pedophile. And honestly, if he was swallowed up by a volcano tomorrow, I wouldn't care. Sorry, end of rant.
What I think about people like him,
they use their outs. Anyway, so I'll shut up now. Sorry.
I think a lot of times people like him are more about being a provocateur and needing attention, like they want the attention that being that kind of person brings them. Yeah. And just like he wants to use his being gay or whatever to justify his right to be a bigot, he can't possibly be a bigot because he's gay, right?
Yeah.
Right. I think in the same way that people who are usually very homophobic or anti-gay on that side will use him as a way to say, look, we're not bigots because, look, we listen to this guy who's gay, who's also a bigot, but isn't a bigot because he's gay. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I do.
I feel like it's a way everybody's using everybody over there. I think there's a lot of damaged people who are looking for other people to validate their own hatred and their own weird need for constant fucking attention. And some people never learned the difference between good attention and bad attention when they were 2 years old. They tried to get good attention, they couldn't, and then they'd act up, and then they'd get attention, and they never understood that there was a difference between getting attention for being good and being bad because maybe they didn't get attention when they were good. So literally, they just don't know how to get attention for doing good things. They only know how to get attention for doing bad things and being a bad person and acting up and being a provocateur. And when we feed them by giving them the attention when they do bad things, it just manifests the problem.
One of the problems I've often had especially with Milo the pedophile, is that he chooses soft targets when he goes on TV or is interviewed. So, for instance, I'll rephrase what I mean by that. He will go on TV shows where the person doing the interview is not an actual journalist. They're just, you know what I mean? They're a personality on TV. And they've probably had about a whole 15 minutes of preparation before they talk to him. So they're easy targets. He talks all over them. He talks around them. He wins the debate and the argument every time. And one time when he actually met his match, and I loved it. And I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again because it's beautiful. And it was the one time he was on Bill Maher's show, okay? And he was there with a panel, one who was an ex-soldier who was now a politician who had served in Afghanistan, and the other was like a lifetime member of the CIA. Like, as in, not just like an actual operative, not just an analyst, but a friggin' operative who had worked in the Middle East and all over the world. Anyway, and they were talking about how Trump was a threat to democracy, and Milo was all there sort of doing his normal, I'm Milo, and of course all the people love me, and you're idiots, and you don't know what you're talking about. And Bill Maher actually turned to Milo and said, shut the fuck up. It was beautiful. And he actually goes, the reason you are allowed to do the shtick, the spiel that you do on air, is because of those two men sitting across from you. One kept you alive, and the other one made sure you had a democratic country to live in so you could say what you liked. You're a fucking asshole. Get your act together. And I loved it. And Milo was just there going, hey. He was trying to flirt his way out of it, and he was just totally shut down by Bill Maher. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
There are times Bill Maher says things that I appreciate. For the most part, though, I have to look at him as just a rampant Islamophobist. And I just have a real problem with that.
He is quite anti-Islam,
he
yes.
Is. Oh, my God. And it's just so fucking gross. Look, I get the fact that you're an atheist. I have no problem with people who are atheists. I understand why someone might be an atheist. I'm not really an atheist, but it doesn't matter. I literally don't care. So why are you so virulently, like, oops, there goes too much rum. Why are you so against that particular religion, as opposed to the other religions as well? Like, why target those people the way you do? I
think in Bill Maher's defense, what he would probably say, and I'm not here as a spokesperson for Bill Maher. Do not get me, in any way, any shape or form, because I've heard Bill Maher say some pretty appalling fucking things, okay? So I am not trying to defend him. But I think what he would probably say is that Judaism and Christian, in other words, the religions of Abraham, and then even Buddhism, Shintoism, all of these religions have kind of reached a point where there is, maybe not in reality, but at least there is a concept that, like, for instance, most Christians are open to people of other religions. Most Jews are open to people of other religions. Most Buddhists are open to people of other religions. Where I think what his argument is that there's still far too much of a thing within Islam to say that, no, we're not open to other religions. My question to Bill Maher, though, is that I'm not 100% sure that's true. Because it might be true in fucking downtown, I don't know, Mecca in Saudi Arabia. All right? That may be true. But if you go to Bosnia, I don't believe that's true at all. You know, if you go to Indonesia or Malaysia, you go to Kuala Lumpur in, KL in Malaysia, it's not like that. It's nothing like that. Malaysians get along fine with everybody. And they're all fucking Muslim, right? So what's your problem? Indonesians get along fine with everyone. They're Muslim. What's your problem? So I think the problem is that he's basing his argument off a small group of people who live in areas like Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, and some of these hardcore religious areas, rather than the bulk of what the religion is. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
There's extremists in every freaking religion.
Of course.
And
every
religion. And so here's the thing. I think it's organized religion that's the fucking problem. I do.
Was it America's second worst terrorist was a Christian? Second worst terrorist was a Christian.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had way more domestic terrorists that were white Christian men, supposedly Christian or whatever. I don't know how Christian they were per se. They might have liked to have claimed it, but there's the whole fake Christian trope, but maybe that's just who Christians are in a sense. You'd like to think they're not because they claim not to be. But see, here's the thing. I have people who live across the street from me that are Muslim, and the people who live next door to me on one side are Muslim, and they are the nicest freaking people.
Of course they are.
I have never met more gracious, wonderful people in my lifetime. These people are not terrorists. There's a huge Muslim population in the county next to me. Those people are not terrorists. They came to a place to start a better life. It's supposed to be about the American dream. But people that are here that have that mindset want to treat them like they're less than us because because they come from another country and they have a different religion. Well, let me tell you something, Christians, y'all have a different religion from me too. It doesn't mean I want to blow shit up.
Well, I've got a friend who's a Muslim, and he's great fun. He's great fucking
They're
fun.
Wonderful people.
Every Christmas he gets fucking plastered. He just gets fucking off his face, right? And all this. And once somebody sort of said, "Oh, but it was unacceptable." Anyway, this person I no longer have any contact with, so it doesn't matter. He says, "Oh, it's unacceptable. You're meant to be Muslim and he's drinking." And so I said, "Okay, how many fucking Catholics have sex out of wedlock?
Seriously,
how many Catholics use contraception? Right?
And how many are wearing like two types of cloth, together?
That's exactly
selfish,
right. And I'm sorry, how many fucking Jews are actually having bacon and prawns? Or as you guys call them.
I know a lot of them, actually.
Of course they do. So this whole idea, everyone forms their own ideology of what their religion is to them. And do not ever, have somebody sort of say that, "Oh, but this person's this religion, so I have no respect for them because they do this." Yeah, but hang on. You claim to be religion and you're breaking half the fucking commandments in the book. So, how many Christians... Well, I'll rephrase this, because there are a lot of Christians who take this stuff very seriously, and that's a different matter, okay? I do not by any way want to have a go at them, because...
If you're sincere in your beliefs and you're a decent human being, I have no problem with whatever you believe.
But how many people sort of say, I have no respect for them because they don't treat their religion seriously? And they say, well, what are you? Oh, I'm a Christian. And you go, how many of the 10 Commandments have you broken today? Quite seriously, they've probably broken half of them in the first fucking 5 hours since they got up. I can't take that seriously. I really can't,
I just think it's people wanting to judge other people. It's a way, in my opinion, and I've noticed this recently, and even with, people in my life, I had a conversation with recently, one of them had sent somebody else a video about somebody that was talking about crystals and chakras and things like that. Okay. The person that it was sent to watched the video and was upset about one thing, because they're into that kind of stuff and the crystals and the chakras, but what they didn't like is that the person on the video started bringing in talking about Jesus and the light of Christ and things like that. And they were mad because they said that stuff doesn't go together. And I said, well, who says they don't go together? I said, I know a lot of people who consider themselves to be like, and I'm not going to say a lot, I don't personally know them. I know of them. Okay. I don't want to say I know these people, but they who consider themselves to be Christian witches. They consider themselves to be witches, but they follow the pantheon of the Christian religion, and what I'm saying. So I said, So what I was saying to them is you saying these things don't go together doesn't make any sense to me, because literally everything people believe is just a mishmash of things that they've heard or that resonated with them over time. And nobody's belief system is anything like anybody else's belief system. There's always going to be something that's more personal that you feel is the thing. Now, nobody knows who's right. Nobody knows who's wrong. That's the thing I don't get. So how are you saying this doesn't go together?
I hate to say this. Okay.
It's all made up.
Here we go, and then
I'm not an atheist, but I'm going to just say all religion is made up like that.
I am an atheist, but
I know, a lot of atheists.
But the thing is that it's but let's just look at Christianity. So Christianity, its origin stories are taken from the Jews. The Jews took it from the Babylonians. The Babylonians took it from the Assyrians. The Assyrians took it from fuck knows how many other cultures before that. Okay, and it snakes and weaves its way. I mean, a lot of people forget the Old Testament or the Torah was written not in fucking Israel, but in Babylon. Yes, in fucking Babylon, which is what, Iraq or Iran? Iraq.
That was my favorite Babylon. The era of fucking Babylon.
All right, so
that was my favorite one.
It's like the song "By the Rivers of Bab." It was about when the fucking Jews.
You're serenading me again.
I know, I can't help it. It's just and the. I told you I love it. I am a Renaissance man. When the when the Hebrews or the Jews were taken from Jerusalem and the Holy Lands, and they lost the war against the Babylonian Empire, and a certain percentage of the population were taken as hostages and taken so the Jews would never rise up in revolt again. Right. And of course, it was now what a lot of people forget is the Jews. They're a bit like the Aboriginals in Australia. They had no written language up until that war. It was total verbal language. And so when they were in Babylon, they suddenly realized, oh my God, because the Babylonians, like the Assyrians before them and few societies before them, had been writing. They discovered writing. And the thing was, it was like, oh shit, we need a history because we're in, it's like
they've been playing thousands of years of the game of telephone.
Yes. So write this shit down. So we need to write it down, and it's a little bit like, well, what do we write down? I don't know. So the problem was a lot of the history was stolen. Like it's not even theirs. It's stolen, and
it's oral history that was passed down.
Yeah, and so the thing is that there are many things in the Torah and the Old Testament which claim to have happened in Israel, but I'll be honest with you, if you went back to ancient Assyria, you'll find two guys arguing about that on a street corner fucking 4,000 years ago. Right? So it's the same story. The Great Flood, anyway, I don't want to go down there, otherwise we'll be here for days, not just hours, but days. And I always get scared that I'm going to offend somebody a little bit, but...
hey, look, I know it was mentioned. I'm just saying people can not listen if they get offended by something we say. We would never intentionally offend anybody, except for maybe Milo or whatever his damn name is. And obviously, Donald Trump would definitely intentionally insult him. That's one of his. Well,
let's say, what is it? The axis of evil. Milo the pedophile, Donald the orange. There's Donald of Orange. I love that because it's like the Earl of Orange. Because that's a real fucking position. That's a real Dutch.
Well, so is Earl of Sandwich. We know this from history, and also there still is one.
Well, maybe it should just be Donald a cheeseburger then. Actually, no, he doesn't eat them, does he? He eats is a Big Mac. Donald a Big Mac.
Oh God.
Donald a KFC.
He only eats fast food. You know why? He has bad king syndrome. He's afraid somebody's to poison him because that's why he only gets his food from fast food restaurants.
I think he's also, and here we go. I don't want to fat shame. This is not what I'm doing, but he's a big fat fuck. All right, he does zero exercise. Okay, and I'm not having to go. I'm fucking overweight.
But he's gross. And here's the thing: he's gross, but he wants to claim he's in the best shape of any president.
He claims he's the fittest man on the planet
because he has terrible mental disorders.
Like everyone can see the fucking what is it? The bronzer that he puts on. Now, I have no problem with people using bronzer. Do not get me wrong. No problem with it at all.
Gross,
however, the way he puts it on is disgusting because he's all pale white hands, pale white behind the ears, neck, and all the rest of it. And then there's just this orange, just this orange face mask. I mean,
Well,
It just
he does
fucking
his own
blows me.
makeup and hair.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. I do love it though. Sometimes when he's being pulled out in press conferences, when he walks out and the hairpins are still in the hair, he's forgotten to take them out. Just like it's a half-hour exercise to get his fucking hair looking right. Okay, because I don't know if a lot of people may not realise how his hair actually works. I saw a great video describing, actually in depth, showing how his hair actually works, and he is pretty much bald from the top, like the crown of his head, pretty much almost all the way back down. And then he has some hair to the sides above the ears, and then the forward part, so his forehead actually has hair. So all the hair at the back, like the back of his head, that's his sideburns combed back. Mm-hmm. So when you actually see him from the back, that's not hair growing out of the back of his head. When he's in the shower, his what was it to say? Let's say eyebrows.
Sideburns.
Sideburns. So thank you, sideburns. His sideburns are about 40 centimeters long. Okay, could you imagine this guy going swimming? It would be disgusting. Because
he will
what
never
happens
do
is that hair, he grows it down so he can then swish it back, and then he then plasters it with product at the back of his hair. And that's why there's been those times when he's walked up the steps to Air Force One and the wind has caught his hair and you can see it blowing back. And what it is, it's the sideburns blowing back because there's not enough fucking product to hold it against a 20-knot wind.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth now. Anyway, so I would like to take a break for a minute because I'm tired of thinking about Trump and his disgusting hair. But I will say, I want people to think about this before we take a little break, is that if you think about Nostradamus' prediction of the third Antichrist, okay, he said that the third Antichrist would have a turban on his head. Well, what I think has happened is that was misconstrued as a turban when really it was a bunch of shitty troll hair swooped around this disgusting bald man's head and trying to make it look like hair. And it's literally just like a swirl of fuzzy fake hair growing out of his head. And that's what it is. That's the turban. And he is literally the third Antichrist, if you're going to buy into that stuff.
First of all, I don't believe a word of fucking Nostradamus. But anyway, that's another story.
No, me either, but that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing.
Anyway, I was just going to say, to me, that's the turban of the third Antichrist. So let's take a break, though. I need a break.
Yeah, I agree. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Well, we are back, and time travel is fun. What was 15, 20 minutes for us was 3 seconds for you. It's bitter on the inside. Anyway, it's timey. It's timey. It's timey-wimey, whatever. Boils an egg at 20 meters. Anyway, all right. Yes, don't use it around chickens. Anyway, sorry.
Hey,
yes, I am a Whovian. Yes.
Right. Well, we all are for the most part. I'm specifically a Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi Whovian, but
yes.
Not being said, hey, I just wanted to mention the fact that I've been told, or I do believe that I recall that we left the last episode on some sort of a cliffhanger because the time ran out. Just as I said something. See, here's the thing. I don't know what that cliffhanger was because I can't remember. And I would like to know. But I'm obviously not going to go listen to the podcast because I don't want to hear my nasally, obnoxious voice and the dumb shit I said through the whole thing.
Your voice is beautiful. Don't be stupid.
I'm very flattered.
Yeah, don't be stupid. I'm so flattered. It's like, don't be an ass wipe. I'm so flattered. No, sorry.
I want somebody to tell me what the fuck cliffhanger we left the show on was. I was like,
I don't remember.
Something.
It was something literally. It was something along the lines of, well, Irish, I'd like to tell you, and then the show ended quite literally like that. And it was because just to explain it, there is a limitation in recording time. It's all podcasting timey-wimey stuff, which I don't want to bore people with. But there is
you gotta stop using that phrase. I love it. It's just making it dead to me. It's having no meaning now.
Sorry. But anyway, so we hit a certain point and it cuts off. Now, we can come back, but we weren't going to come back literally and go through all the hassle of trying to link the things together for 30 seconds. It wasn't worth it. So,
it costs money, people.
The truth
Make it worth our while for that. Otherwise, no.
But I had a thought, and tell me what you think about this, even though I'm doing it on air, which is not the way you're meant to do it. But anyway.
No, just lay it on me, brother.
The first person, and you can tell who the first person is, because Twitter has a time log. The first person to tell either you or me or us, because there's a number of different accounts on Twitter, okay, what we were talking about the minute we get cut off, from last week, when we do a VIP section on the website, which we're talking about doing, that person gets free VIP.
Woo!
Is that? Have I put you in the shit?
Depends on what I'm showing in the VIP lounge.
Well, we're not having fucking pole dancing or something. I mean,
you don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, true. I mean, yes. Okay.
All right, I've had too much rum.
But I just thought, would that be a cool idea? Get a bit of information
absolutely.
Going. So
absolutely,
the first person who on Twitter who can come back to now, yours is the Irish Stewart.
Yes.
Or
I would say the Irish Stewart, but yes.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay.
Because I'm fancy.
Damn me for speaking Australian. See, you bloody, you convict, you. And
dude, my people are Welsh and Irish. Don't go there.
So my country is based on, what is it? 80,000 years of black history, and then British history for 250 years or something. And then me personally, it's a mixture of fucking Yorkshire and Switzerland. Oh, what a combination.
Ooh.
I know.
Anglo as fuck, just like my family.
Fucking,
welcome to that.
Zurich meets, where's my father from Middlesbrough? Zurich meets Middlesbrough. So my mother was from Zurich. Well, actually, just outside Zurich, actually. She wasn't actually in the city. It was actually in the farming area just outside. So yeah, Zurich and... I've forgotten now. Middlesbrough, unite. Anyway, cheers. Cheers. What is it? Cheers, big ears. There we go. All right.
No, we discussed what that meant. I do remember that. Yeah. I looked that guy up, and what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. We're talking about Chopper Reed, if anyone. Anyway. So yes. So how about that? So the first person who comes back to now. We do not have a Twitter address called the Saints Martini. Don't ask me why. Maybe we should start one. But we don't. You have
one at Saints Martini, and that's Martini, you. There's no the.
Maybe we should start the Saints Martini, which should be the actual podcast site.
Well, you're going to confuse people. Yeah, but sure, whatever you want to do, man. All I know is that I'm in charge of the website.
Yeah, I know. I could change my Twitter address and then create I don't know. Or we could just not fucking bother. Anyway, come back to me or Irish, okay?
You'd like. But look, here's the thing. He's offering you, like, the VIP section. Really, what I just want to know is what the fuck we were talking about. And
I still don't even know what we're going to put into the VIP section.
Let's give you something that doesn't exist now.
Because it's so easy.
In return.
Yes. Well, that's exactly right. It's like Trump. He signed an executive order to make sure that pre-existing conditions wouldn't be affected, even though the Affordable Health Care Act currently says previous conditions will not be affected. He signed an executive order to create something that already exists. So I sort of thought, let's do exactly the same thing. I'll give a prize when the prize doesn't exist. Isn't that cool? Well, everyone's a winner. Cheers.
We like to call that here a dick move, but also Tell me what it is.
A Trumpian
If
moment.
that's the case, I will add something to it, and only if they feel like sending us their address. But honestly, if you feel like sending us the first person to tell us what it was, I will send you a random item from my home, and that'll be weird.
No, they might live in fucking Botswana and it'll cost you $500.
I don't give a shit. No, I don't give a shit where it's from. No, Warren. Here's the thing. If you live in the continental United States or in Australia or the UK, I will send you something
Can we include China and France in that?
Yes, absolutely.
Because we have Chinese and French listeners. That's the only reason I say that.
Oh, yeah. Ni hao.
Yeah.
And bonjour.
French,
yeah.
I don't have no idea.
Don't make fun of my French. I've had a lot of rum.
China, I get. There's a lot of expats who live in China, so I get that.
I didn't know we had people listening from there. Damn, that's cool, actually.
Oh, yeah, even the old cult movie show, which should not be spoken about again. But anyway,
the show was great. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, well,
and
thank you.
Just
thank you.
leave it at that. Actually,
it actually
that's where we met, Warren.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, actually, we met before that, but
did we though? But
we hadn't spoken.
Yeah,
we hadn't physically spoken.
That was the first time we talked personally.
Physically heard each other. Yeah, that is quite. Yeah, that is quite true.
Yeah.
We had known ourselves. Ooh, I think they're.
I don't know myself even now. That's the whole thing I'm working on.
It's latte time. Oh my god. Anyway, we had known each other for a number of years before that, but yes, we had never physically spoken. That is quite correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Until the Cult Movie Show came along, and in fact, you were actually in one of the really early episodes, as I recall.
Was I really?
Yeah. Didn't you do one even before what would end up as let's just say the host lineup? Didn't you do one before that? Before that even happened?
I don't think so because honestly, the Skype program I have here has all of the calls that I had with y'all prior to this, and I had 4 total over time.
Oh,
but
no.
It had everybody included.
You were meant to. In fact, it was. We were going to do because Gary, who had originally been in the Cult Movie Show, had left, and I'll rephrase that, was leaving, and we were going to do a kind of weird thing. We were going to use the guys on another podcast called Only Funny to Us, and shout out to them too. If you're not listening to them, listen to them. It's a great show. They're from South Carolina. They're funny as all fuck. They're great guys. Listen to their podcast, Only Funny to Us. Yeah, there's a shout out. So please subscribe.
Yeah.
They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They've got their own website, same as us, Only Funny to Us. They're fantastic. So yeah, listen to them. And Cliff, who is one of the guys from TJ, Ben, Steve, and Cliff, is who makes up the show. Anyway, but Cliff from that show did a number of Cult Movie episodes. He did one that was drunk as fuck. It was so funny. It was so good. He was so off his face. It was brilliant. And, it was so good.
We love how that turns out usually.
But I think what was going to happen is we were going to do a collective show with you and Cliff, and I think the old Gary was going to be on it, and it all fell apart because literally everybody, quite literally an hour or 2 hours before, a disaster happened. Like a removalist was meant to be coming and then suddenly was running 3 hours late, or something else happened, and it was literally happened to everybody simultaneously, and we cancelled the show. I remember
it was you and who else? Cliff
from South Carolina and Gary from, I forgot where Gary lives now. England anyway.
So basically, I was going to get triple teamed, and it just all went to shit. Is what you're saying.
You missed out. You missed out on your 3-way. That's right.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not
Oh,
sorry.
dear.
I told
Now,
you I didn't have anything clever to say, and that just proved it.
now,
Okay,
now, the whole
so
thing is that people who didn't
I'm
listen.
amused.
Well, people who
But
didn't
yeah,
listen, because the Cult Movie Show ran for Christ about 3 years. It was a long time, actually.
it was. I have
And
four
and,
phone calls over the course. Yeah.
and if you didn't listen to the whole thing all the way through, what you won't realise is that the people who were on the show varied from time to time. The winner was the same, and the people who started the show were not the people who ended the show. So it changed a bit, and the whole show changed a bit. It started off just being fucking B grade monster movies, and ended up being 1980s. No, anyway,
You know what it ended up being is this. That's what it ended up being.
well, actually, to a degree,
we haven't because to a degree because we have a different name. But you and I met doing that stuff. Not met, but we kind of got comfortable doing a podcast together. And then it turned out that we just liked to talk. And so we would talk. And then we also liked to drink, which we were just doing anyway while we were talking. And then we were like, hey, we should just record this. So I don't know why, but we just felt like we were talking and drinking anyway. So we might as well.
I think if you go back to this show, the Saints Martini, and listen to episode 1 and 2, it's movie reviews, right?
Yeah,
the shows go for an hour and a half each, but the actual conversations you and I had were about 5 hours long. And in this one thing. And we just said, why the hell are we doing this? Let's just forget the movies and just talk. And you know what?
It was so hard to watch the movies, even though I wanted to see the movies. It was hard to fit them into the schedule, you know?
Here is the other thing, too. This is something I don't think a lot of people understand, or not understand, but don't think about. When I was doing the Cult Movie Show, if you've got 3 movies, that is a minimum 4.5 hours a week of watching stuff.
Yes.
Okay, let's call it even now 5 to 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got to record the show. Then you've got to put the show together and put it out. Okay. The thing is, that is
plus you had the shorts, so you had 2 full-length movies and the shorts on that one. Remember?
Oh my God, we had a
because remember I could never
film.
actually find the time to watch everything, and then I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And the problem, that show was great if you had done one podcast a month. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
But doing that every week was way too much. You couldn't hold down a job and do that show. Now, I know a lot of people, well, I don't know a lot of people, I know of people who do podcasts and they're doing them, they're doing 2 podcasts a week and it's about this subject or that subject. That's fine. I also know some secrets about some of them, and most of them don't have fucking jobs. All right? So
that is their job.
It's very easy if you're either unemployed or that is your job. Okay? If you're living on benefits and you've got nothing to do all day, so you do a podcast, that's fine. Or if you're being paid to do the podcast, well, then the podcast is your job. But when you're trying to run an actual fucking career, not just a job, but a career, and then try, it's pretty hard. It is pretty hard, actually.
Yeah,
and 3
it is,
years
especially
for me was enough.
Especially back in the time when, you were allowed to work outside of your house and you weren't trapped in there trying to figure out how to express yourself creatively.
Go out to dinner or watch a movie? I can't go out to dinner because I've got to watch these 2 movies before tomorrow. But I want to go out to dinner. Yeah, I know. No,
I always want to go out to dinner, Warren, but mostly because I'm a white, suburban, middle-aged American woman, I want to go to brunch. That's my whole issue.
Yes.
I have a real issue without, this is the longest I've ever gone without going out for brunch. I will eat any Benedict on the planet unless it has salmon in it, and then I'm not fucking touching it because I just don't like fish that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's not fish. Ed's Benedict has bacon. Ed's Florentine has spinach.
Look, there's tons of Benedicts in the U.S., okay?
Really?
Jesus Christ.
But they're called
I
a
have
different
no
name,
idea
though.
how
They have
to
a
begin
different
to
name.
list.
They're Ed's whatever. Like the Ed's
Okay.
Woodhouse. Have you ever seen
Typical.
Ed's Woodhouse from Archer? I saw sorry, I cut you off and it was rude. Please, don't go on. Sorry.
I don't know because I haven't seen all the episodes of Archer, but I do freaking love the show every time it comes
It's
on.
coming back. It's coming back this month.
I'm very
Season
excited
11.
about that.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I know.
I haven't seen all the episodes, but I do love any episode I catch, and if it's on in a marathon, I will watch that shit.
Oh, I know.
I here okay, traditional Benedict absolutely all the time. Veggie Benedict where the where
That's called
the Canadian
Florentine.
bacon.
It's
Well, no,
Florentine.
because it's not with spinach.
Oh,
So
right, okay,
you're
sorry.
wrong.
How do you do
Okay,
a veggie
like
Benedict?
I've had it with grilled asparagus in place of the Canadian bacon.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so in America, brunch is a religion. Okay, and I guess if I was going to adhere to any particular religion, it would be brunch. I'm not eating any fucking avocado toast though, because let me tell you something, avocado is disgusting, and I'm
Oh,
not eating it.
oh my
No,
God!
okay.
You will be
Well, no.
you will be sacrificed
Look,
on a volcano in this country for not eating. It's a national
okay,
fucking vegetable in Australia.
I will eat.
Vegemite and avocado
Slice.
on toast.
No, don't talk to me about Vegemite. Okay, we've had this discussion. I adore you, but no. And I know other people said they love it, and good for them, more for them, because I am never going to eat that stuff again.
No, you've got to be born to it. You have to be born to it.
I understand it is an acquired taste.
Yeah.
I do not plan to acquire it. However, I did not plan to acquire a taste for wine, and I absolutely have one now. So I can't say it will never happen, but I will never intentionally develop a taste for it.
No.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
My partner used to drink vinegar out of the bottle. Okay.
What kind of vinegar?
Just any sort of vinegar. It didn't matter. Like they didn't like lug it down, glug, 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 like a bottle of Coke. I mean, but they would. This is no joke. They would take the bottle of vinegar. Let's take the top off. They'd pour vinegar into the top. The cap, right? And they would scull that. And
Was it apple cider vinegar? I know
any
you say
vinegar. It doesn't matter. Any vinegar. Raspberry vinegar, white vinegar, brown vinegar. You name
People
it.
do that
Vinegar.
with apple cider to lose weight. I don't
Right.
know. Apple cider.
No. And apparently, it's good for you. It tastes
Yeah,
like,
is it?
oh, I can't stand it.
I will.
And I
love
hate
vinegar.
No. See, when I'm Generalissimo, which is coming, because I intend to take over the world soon. I think most people know that. Now, when I'm Generalissimo, vinegar will be fucking illegal. It will be banned. It will be banned. It will be like Cuban cigars in America. It will be banned. I hate the stuff. But see, this is the thing.
Warren, I'm just gonna
Vegemite,
stop you right now.
avocados,
No. I'm going to stop you right now. We can no
Yep.
longer be friends.
It was a
We
vinegar.
can't be friends anymore. No, because of vinegar and also Vegemite. Those two things, I can't. It's just too much.
It's okay.
Look,
It's all right.
Look,
It's all right.
I can have vinegar on all the things.
I used to be partnered with a woman who didn't drink coffee, who hated coffee, used to drink vinegar, hated Vegemite, same as you, believe it or not, even though they were an Aussie. All right. Somehow or other we made that work, so I don't know how the fuck we made that work. I don't really know. But anyway.
I knew I liked her.
Somehow we made that fucking work. Oh, dearie me.
But there's a lot of stuff I like that the people around me don't like. But vinegar is the only reason I can actually eat fish. Fish and chips, malt vinegar.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to taste the fish.
You're British.
I better choke
so
to
British,
death
yeah.
on the fumes from the amount of vinegar I put on that.
Oh,
Okay.
It's so fucking British,
okay.
yeah.
When I have a submarine sandwich, I don't know if you guys like just like a tuna fish on a long roll. I don't know what you guys call it over there.
Apart from a chain of shops called Subway, we don't really eat that
Subway,
sort of food.
Okay,
yeah,
like,
but we don't make them ourselves. That's just that's like McDonald's. We don't really make it ourselves.
I don't make them myself either. But if I do go to Subway, I like their tuna, which I don't usually get anywhere out. That's gross. But their tuna sandwich is great with the things I want on it. But it must be soaked in red wine vinegar, because if I don't have that on the sandwich, it's disgusting, and I'm not going to eat it.
That's interesting.
I will eat straight vinegar on a salad any day over any dressing that you give me. So I am a huge vinegar fan, and as I said, we can't be friends anymore, Warren. You don't like vinegar, you think it's gross.
I don't
know what to say to you. I want to choke to death on the fumes from the shit I eat with vinegar on it.
One thing we used to do is, if we were ever out and about, there's always a thing for Australians anyway. If you're out and about and you're driving anywhere, especially anywhere coastal, if you just stop anywhere and eat anything, everyone always has fish and chips. It's just what you have. Or some sort of fish and chips, okay? Well, if you don't want to eat the fish...
No,
don't
you eat
fish,
shark there.
chips.
I want cod. We discussed this last week or something.
So anyway,
okay.
And I was always would, after so many times, that I had to grab the fish and chips first. I could never let her grab it, because if I did, it would come back with so much vinegar all over it. It was dripping out of the newspaper, right? Just dripping out of the fucking newspaper. This soggy mash of potato and fish in a vinegar soup, right?
All on the chips.
Right.
Yeah.
And there were so many times I'd be sitting there and fish and chips would come out, and I'd be doing whatever. I'd put my sunglasses down, and it's like, oh, Jesus, you left me one chip. Thank you. One chip not engulfed in vinegar. Not swimming in the sea that was fucking malt vinegar.
Look, if you're getting food with a woman, okay, and it includes French fries, and she tells you she doesn't want any French fries,
she wants French fries.
She will eat your fucking French fries.
Of course.
Okay, so just go ahead.
But that's okay.
But
that's all right. That's like I think we might have even said that on another podcast. I think we did. If someone hasn't heard it, I'll say it again. I can still remember advice from my father. The only bit of advice he ever gave me was, son, from this point in your life, you will never be right again.
Right, no, but also if they say they don't want something you're going to eat, do you want some onion rings? Do you want some, no, I don't, but you're getting them.
So just make sure you have enough to feed. Go ahead and
order another bit, because that's a lie.
Yeah, but you can't. They don't need to. But what you do is you can't order two lots. So what you got to do, if you want a small or a medium, order a large. So there's enough for both of you. You can't order two. Oh, pardon me, I just burped. So sorry. I've been drinking champagne. Well, no, I'm not actually. It's sparkling wine. But anyway,
I'm so glad you did that.
I'm so sorry about that. Oh my god. It's like, oh, pardon me. I'm so sorry. Or it could just be Australian. It's like, fuck it.
Oh, no, please don't do that.
No, I don't want to. I wouldn't do that. Where were we? Oh, chips. Yeah, chips. When you order chips, you eat French fries. You're talking French fries. When you order them, what you've got to do is order enough for two, but in one serve. If you order two serves, it gives the game away. So you can't do that.
Warren,
because you've
that's bullshit.
No.
Let me tell you something.
Because you have to always make a woman believe that she's won. If she knows that you're onto her, she gets angry. Don't you think?
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
No. But what it says to me is this dude knows I want French fries, even though I don't want to say that I want French fries. I'm just going to say to you.
Yeah.
If you order a large, I'm eating that entire damn thing. I'm not sharing them with you. You might get two fries.
What if I did an
You
extra?
might get two chips. No,
all right.
You might get two. I'm eating the rest of that shit.
So you reckon it's better just to order two lots? I will literally take it from the bag while we're driving
and put it in my lap and dole out maybe two to you on the way home while I eat the entire rest of them. So if you get two, one stays in the bag. Do you understand? We share the first one where you get like two of them, okay? And then I eat the rest. And then when we get home, we share the other one. So just letting you know, you could potentially, if you did it right, end up with 1/4, maybe a third, if you're lucky, of the French fries that came home, okay? The rest of them,
this is what
I'm eating in the car as soon as we leave. The drive-thru.
But marriage is full of fucking things like this. It is what it is.
You're not married, and everything is fair game.
No,
I'm just saying, I don't give a shit. French fries, fair game. I will fight you. I will cut a bitch for some French fries.
Do you love French fries that much?
I like food. I think we've discussed this.
Well, yes, okay. But okay. If you had proper, we'll call them British chips. Even though Australians would
call
say
them steak fries here,
right?
And
okay,
yes, those are the only proper real French fries to eat, unless they're crinkle cut, but that can only be cooked in small batches.
Crinkle cut is that's a commercial. No one eats those. That's
you're wrong. You're wrong.
Really?
I will eat them if they're cooked in small batches with clean oil. Other than that, no.
Oh, see, because the whole idea
yeah.
of a chippy, like a fish and chip shop, is that the oil is flavoured with everything else which has been in it. That's the whole idea. In fact, in Britain, it gets so bad. They do a thing called bits. Now, you can't really get this in Australia. This is a very British thing in fish and chips. It's like they eat mushy peas. I mean, we don't have mushy peas. We have dim sims and potato cakes, but they have mushy peas. And
we'll eat all of those things.
right, so but the thing is, they do what's called bits. And what bits is, it's all the batter that falls off the fish when it goes into the oil. And it's scooped up and you just eat it. You just eat the batter.
Crackling.
It's called bits. Yeah, crackling, if you like. Yeah. And it's called bits. And you can, in Britain, actually order chips and bits where you don't actually... what they do is they put the chips in the oil and they take a whole heap of batter and they throw it in the oil. It deep fries. They break it up and it's a... Like, you don't have any fish at all. You just have chips and bits.
That sounds super healthy because I feel like I can justify eating fish and chips because...
It's still deep fried in fucking oil.
Yeah, no, but there's some fish in it, which I don't usually eat. We've discussed this. I don't care for it.
But cod... But shad doesn't taste like fish. It's just fucking...
Everybody says that to me. Let me tell you something. Every time I eat some fucking fish, somebody says, it doesn't taste like fish. And then I eat it and I go, you know what? This tastes like fucking fish.
It tastes like fish.
You know why, Warren? Because I don't like fish. All right? I want to like fish. I know it's good for me. It looks brilliant.
But
I
then
want
fish and
to
chips...
eat it, but no.
But this is why you would love fish and chips in Australia. Because in Australia, you can have a full fish and chips meal with no fish. That's the beauty. Australian fish and chips.
But no,
the fish
I don't
is
want
optional.
that. I want fish and chips, but I want it soaked in so much fucking malt vinegar that I want to die.
Right.
Okay, that I choke to death for like 30 minutes while I'm trying to eat my first bite. That's what I want. I want to eat it, and I want to have fish and chips, but I don't want to taste the fish. But I want the fish. Do you understand? It's a stupid psychological problem.
I'll be honest with you, I don't understand it, but I'm not going to dispute you on it. It is what it is. I'm not going to dispute you on it, but, you know, it's like, okay, fair enough.
There was a book when I was a kid, like when I was like 3 or 4 years old, and I feel like maybe this is the reason I want to like fish, and I don't know why, but I still remember this stupid book. It was literally about bears, and they caught a trout in this book.
Yeah.
And they cooked it in a frying pan. Cooked their trout in a frying pan.
As you do, yes.
And it was literally just this animation of the bears cooking the trout in the frying pan and then having it on the plate. The little bear had it on his plate and he was going to eat it. Okay. That made me want, as like a tiny child, I remember this, okay, trout. So my parents went camping with me in Minnesota on this lake with their friends, and they were in their early 20s, and I was, you know, maybe they were like mid-20s probably at this point, early to mid, and I was like 4 years old. Well, I guess it was very early 20s. Holy shit. Anyway, they went fishing with these people, and everybody, they had caught all this trout for dinner, and they were cooking it, and my mother came out and gave me a bologna and cheese sandwich. Now, here's the thing. She knew that I wouldn't like trout, okay? But in my mind, there was this book with these bears, and that trout looked like something I probably wanted to eat, okay? Because the baby bear was eating it. And I was literally, and I just want people to think about this stuff when they're dealing with their children who are very young, and you think, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? There are the weirdest things that set children off. She brought me that sandwich, and this whole time I was thinking about that book and that picture, like the illustrated picture of the bear cooking the trout, and I was so fucking mad. I was so mad that she had given me a bologna and cheese sandwich and didn't give me any trout. But let me tell you something.
Sorry,
I don't like fish.
Hold that, please. No, please hold that thought about how you don't like fish, but you wanted the trout, because there's a courier at the door. Sorry, can you just bear with me for one moment?
Let's take a break. Because,
we're just going to pause.
I need a break.
Because a courier has just arrived at Simon Templar's house. All
yeah,
right, just one moment.
Break.
Just one sec.
Yeah. All right. Start giggling.
as Iris just laughs and talks through the entire intro. Who cares? Anyway, but we were talking about. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. I had a courier turn up at my doorstep. I'm expecting I said I'm expecting I was expecting one delivery, which is my food for the week, because of course we're in lockdown quarantine, so of course all our food's been delivered. But which I'm expecting at some stage today, which will probably happen in the middle of the show, knowing the way my life works. But that was a courier just delivering something.
You don't have that much time left.
Sorry, I'm ranting. All right, here we go. Now.
No, I meant we don't, like, maybe it won't come during the show because we don't have that much time left for recording. I wasn't saying you were talking too much.
Oh, no, actually, no, sorry. Sorry.
That's all right. Feeling sensitive. Oh, no.
I'm all going
I know. I told you I was going to be difficult today.
I was about to say, all going Donald Trump. Nasty woman.
Oh,
that's something I wanted to bring.
Nasty.
I want to bring that up actually as a serious topic. But anyway, did you need to mention any more about the trout and the bear, or have we?
Did you want me to mention more about the trout and the bear, Warren?
Well,
I think honestly, I just want people to know with their kids.
You wanted to eat the bear steak, but you. No, you didn't.
Whoa,
you got bologna.
You took something away from that that I don't even know where to begin.
I was wondering if there was some Freudian thing there. But anyway, no, but you had the bologna sandwich rather than the trout, and you wanted the trout rather than the bologna sandwich. Even though you couldn't eat it unless it was swimming in 5 litres of vinegar.
Well, not at that age. I only wanted Miracle Whip on it, so shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to have fun with you.
Stop trying to vinegar shame me, damn it. Look,
don't worry. I lived with it for a decade. I'm used to it. It's all right.
Yeah. I like weird things and weird people. So, just consider that as we sit here on this show that I've been doing with you.
It's like I like weird people. Now, I'm doing a show with Warren. Oh, no. No, I just happen to like weird people. Oh, dear.
Look, I also super enjoy lime jello with peaches in it. I don't know how to describe how much I enjoy that. It's gross and also delicious. And so I'm not going to say I don't like weird things. I do. But again, I just want to say, if you're a parent and you have a child that is upset about something random and weird, maybe it's because they had a book that showed them some stuff they thought looked great, and then you didn't give it to them later, and you have no idea what the hell they're talking about. But just, go easy on them.
This is true. Did you know I forced my parents, or my mother, I should say, I wanted turds and whey. I want turds and whey. I want this as a young child. So my mother actually sort of said, she basically sort of went, all right, fuck you. You can have some turds and whey. And when I finally tasted it, it was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is what it is. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's curdled milk and water. How the fuck?
It's so disgusting. I can't, cottage cheese and all that. Look, no, okay? Nobody is eating those things. And if you do, you're wrong. And that's just the way it is. And we should just leave it at that.
We should now. Can you just play elevator music for a moment, because I have to cough. So just please talk to the audience.
Don't you have a mute button on your microphone? What's wrong with you? Why are you choking?
There we go. We're back. I'm back. There you go. Just you can still hear me.
He responded to me, and y'all couldn't hear him. So I just want you to know he probably called me terrible things. And
the mute only works to the outside world. We can still hear each other. Oh dear. Anyway, I was going to say timey-wimey, but I'm not. Anyway, all right. So no, nasty woman. Now the reason why
I'm going to play Missy. I'm going to cosplay Missy, the mistress, when MegaCon opens back up on one of the days. I have to do a Sith character.
Do you know
with the boy?
Missy from Doctor Who?
The mistress, yes, the mistress. You be quiet.
I liked Missy. Because Missy was also the forerunner of where we are today with the Doctor. Because Missy was necessary to write the canon to where we are.
Yes.
So Missy is vitally important. No, I like Missy. Missy's a good character. She's very...
I mostly like Michelle Rodriguez.
Well, okay, she's very similar. The one Doctor Who character I cannot stand, even though she is beloved by Whovians, is the Doctor's
Rose?
wife. No, I like Rose. Is the Doctor's wife.
River Song.
Hello, River Song. Hello, sweetie. I have never been able to bond with
Melody
that character.
Pont.
Yeah, I've never. Yes, yeah, I know. And I know how crucial she is to Doctor Who lore. Like, she is so important. But I don't think it's the character. I just think it's the actor. I've never been able to bond to the actor. I don't believe it's the character, because I don't have a problem with the idea of where it all went. I think it's that actor. You know how some people... Have you ever seen an actor where you just go, no, I just don't like him?
Yes.
No, I just don't like him,
Yep.
right? There's no reason at all. And for me...
I usually have a reason.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, I have no reason at all. I'm
It's
sure...
petty.
Okay,
It's petty, but it's a reason.
Okay. Okay. I am sure that she is a great actor. Okay. She did play that role really, really well. And I think it was written really, really well. There was some things about it I didn't like, but I think in general it was pretty good. But for some reason, I just didn't. I don't know, and I have no reason for it, and it spoils it for me. You know,
Well,
it's like Adric.
Look,
Adric. Everyone hated fucking Adric in the original series. Adric was probably a great actor. There was nothing wrong with him, but everyone fucking hated Adric. I just hate River Song. I don't know why.
You know, even if you didn't like her, I mean, I told you this before. My first real Doctor Who love was Matt Smith. Okay, as Doctor Who. I think
one of the best doctors there's been. Brilliant.
God, he was amazing, and
he was really
brilliant,
good.
and it killed me. Like, I didn't want to like the show. I had hated it when I was younger, and my cousin was watching it and trying to make me watch it. I was like, "This is stupid." And it was the guy with the the white boy afro and the scarf, and I just couldn't.
Oh, Tom Baker.
He followed it up with
Tom Baker.
With shit! Now I can't remember the name of that show. It was the one about the vampires, and it was kind of campy, but it seemed to me like just a bad soap opera about. And they made a movie about it with Johnny Depp. Literally, I cannot remember the name of it right now, but it was in this time period when my cousin, who was a year younger than me, was the one who got me to play Dungeons and Dragons with his friends every summer when I would come to visit my grandparents, which was fun because I was the center of attention in a room full of geeky boys who really enjoyed playing this stuff. You know, it was kind of funny. I was the cousin. You know, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Other than that, I wasn't into anything they listened to. They listened to heavy metal music. They were doing Dungeons and Dragons, which I would hang out and play, but they had to tell me how to do everything and what everything meant. Roll the dice now, and I would roll it, and they would tell me what it meant. It didn't matter. They were the really, really smart. Like, I didn't realize it at the time. These were the guys with the super high IQs, which was weird, but they were different. And as I got older, I started to actually appreciate people like them. But at the time, they were the ones watching Doctor Who and whatever the fuck the show was. It drives me crazy. I can't remember the name of it. Dark Shadows. That was it.
Shadows. Okay.
Dark Shadows. Okay. So yeah, it came on right after that on like our PBS channel, public broadcasting. I didn't like it. And I was mad when they would try to make me watch it. I was mad. So for years, I didn't want to watch it. And then it got brought back, and they had Stephen Moffat as the showrunner. And Noah, my son, would watch it. And I wouldn't want to watch it. I'd be going through the house doing things, but it would be on the TV in the main room because we wouldn't let him have a TV in his room. That's just the way it worked. If you wanted to watch TV, you come out and be with people. You're not allowed to actually just hang out in your room as a cave and spend your time focusing it. So until he was a senior in high school, he wasn't allowed to have a TV in his room. And then finally, when we allowed it, he wasn't allowed to have cable. Now he doesn't have a TV in his room because he didn't care about it. Now he doesn't leave his room because he's on his computer all the time.
Well, they have computers.
Anyway.
They don't need TVs. I was about to say.
I know.
They have a
like,
phone. They don't need fucking computers anymore.
But
I mean, yeah.
He was watching it with Matt Smith, and I'd be going through doing this and that and the other, and I kept catching myself stopping and watching it and getting very caught up in it and starting to care about the characters. And then the whole thing with Amy Pond marrying Rory. And
Amy Pond.
Ragged Man.
Sorry,
You're late
I'm just
for
melting.
my wedding.
Oh, I'm just melting.
Like, like the whole, no, I didn't care about Rory, and he annoyed the shit out of me.
But
no,
not Rory. I didn't care about Rory. Rory could go and get fucked. I wasn't talking about Rory.
Amy.
I was talking about Amy.
Pond.
Oh, Amy Pond.
Yeah,
The hottest companion there has ever been. Without
she
any.
Was great.
Yeah. Hot,
she
clever,
I'm
smart.
She
was
an
an equal.
Okay,
but she was an equal, but she was also hotter than hell. That was the thing that was different about her to any other. Well, actually, no. We have had that before. In the Tom Baker years, the one with the curly hair and the scarf that you weren't a big fan of. Okay, he had Layla. No, Layla. Layla, was it?
Layla.
Not Layla, Romana. Sorry, there were two Romanas. There was Romana 1 and Romana 2, because Romana was a Time Lord. Okay, like the Doctor was. And so Romana 1, and then she regenerated. And so we had two Romanas, because just like the Doctor, because she was... Because this is... In the original series, you have to remember Gallifrey hadn't been in the Time War, and that was all yet to come. So, so there were two women who were every bit the equal of the Doctor, but super sexy. So we have had that before. But then also we had fucking Joe Grant. Jesus Christ, Joe Grant with John Pertwee, the third Doctor. Dumb as fucking dog shit. She was there
harsh, dude.
No, but I'm serious. I mean, even she admits, I've seen her interviewed, she was there basically to scream at the right time. She was the...
the emotional character.
Well, we had the assistant before that who was it Elizabeth? Who we only got for one season, and she was a scientist. She was a nuclear physicist, I believe, and she was great. But once again, she was an equal to the Doctor. And then they decided, the fucking BBC, that no, she's too hard. We need a fucking softer character. So they brought in Joe Grant, who was like, "Oh, Doctor, spider, oh, Doctor, monster." It was like
like the typical 1960s female character, which had no depth to them. And
mind you, we got which most people probably say is the best assistant there has ever been, which was Sarah Jane Smith, played by Elizabeth Sladen. And she was meant to be a journalist, and she was very much an equal to the Doctor. She may not have been as intelligent as in understanding science, but she was brave, she was committed, she would go into situations where angels feared to tread. She was very much the Rose Tyler of the late 70s. And And in fact, she was so popular, she got her own spin-off for 3 years called The Sarah Jane Adventures, and the show only finished because she died. It wasn't cancelled. It only ended because she died.
Interesting.
Yeah, Sarah Jane Smith. I'm going away.
I agree with you. No, I'm just look, it's a Doctor Who conversation. I'm fine with that as long as we're talking about the era that I like.
Yes, okay. I'll go. So we'll go back to Matt Smith and.
What I was going to say is, Matt Smith, Fish Fingers and Custard, the whole introduction to that.
Anthony, man.
I was drawn in. Amy Pond, loved her storyline. So Melody Pond turning out to be River Song, and the whole way they did that, I thought was brilliantly done. Peter Capaldi, didn't want to like him, okay? Didn't want to because, dear God, it ripped my actual heart out when Matt Smith regenerated. It was all I could take to accept Peter Capaldi for who he was, but then I really liked what they did with him. I thought he was really fun, and they brought Clara in, okay, with Matt Smith, I guess, initially. And then, Yeah, initially, which
The Impossible
I
Girl.
loved her as the Impossible Girl. Loved her. Then with Peter Capaldi coming in, who I didn't want to love, I ended up loving him. And then we've talked about this before. During that regeneration, I literally couldn't. I felt like, and this is the stupidest thing because I understand it's a TV show and it's not real, but I have a really hard time with watching things that make me emotionally upset. Have you ever seen the animated film from Pixar, Up, about the old man that wants to fill his house with balloons?
Ties balloons to his house. Do you know, I've never actually
Yes.
watched it. No, it just never, it never kind of interested me very
Okay.
much.
Well, let me tell you something. I can never in my entire, and first of all, I loved the film. I laughed out loud so many times. It was beautifully done. The story was great. The characters were wonderful. I can never again watch that film if I see the first 10 minutes of it. If it's going to come on, if somebody's going to make me watch it, I literally cannot emotionally watch the first 10 minutes of it. I have never in my life cried in the first 10 minutes of an animated film other than that.
Right.
And I cannot, it's so beautiful though. It's a beautiful cry.
What about
It's
Bambi?
a beautiful story in the first 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And if you can deal with that sort of thing, it's great. But I can't. So I never can watch it again. And now Noah makes fun of me because I can't watch the first 10 minutes of Up no matter what we do. The rest of it, fair game. Great. I will laugh my ass off and carry on. But holy shit. And that's the way I felt when Peter Capaldi was going to regenerate. I still haven't seen that Christmas episode. And I can't do it. And I want to support this new character because it's a woman. And I think, great, finally they said, sure, it doesn't matter whether or not, like we were talking about earlier, what they look like. The character, if it doesn't have any actual definition, can be anything and anyone. So why not make them anything or anyone? So here's a big twist. It's a white woman now. So just, I feel bad because I haven't supported it.
Look,
But also, I'm a huge wuss, and I'm going to cry, and I don't want to do it. It makes me upset.
Yes. Look, I get that. Do you know, I've watched Schindler's List once, and I will never, ever watch the movie again. And it is not because it is an amazing film. It is an amazing film.
I understand that.
I watched it once. I know what the story was. I don't really want to watch it for the acting, for the writing, for anything like that, because the story is so, like, the fact that we actually did that to ourselves as a species is so horrendous that I can't watch it again. I simply can't watch it. I fully understand the Holocaust. I know all the numbers, all the statistics. I'm a defender of Israel to my fucking death. But we've talked about this, though. There are caveats too. That's not quite that simple. But you know what I mean.
There are caveats.
Okay.
I do know what you mean.
But the idea of a Jewish homeland, I will defend till the fucking... Like, I will take up arms to defend that. I believe in it that strongly. However, I cannot watch that movie again because, to me, the scene where the children are hiding in the fucking toilets from the roundup, they have actually hopped. Well, I'm trying to explain. They're hopped into the gunk bit of the toilet. We're all right. That's where they're hiding the sewage, so they don't get found when the roundup is coming. Yeah, look.
I have not seen that movie, and I'm going to tell you right now, I can't see it.
Have you never seen it?
No, I've seen clips from it, and let me tell you something. I already know that there was a movie here we had years ago in the 80s called Platoon, which was about the Vietnam experience.
I've seen Platoon.
Okay, so my
dad
dad took me to see that.
Terrible film, yeah.
Well, it's a terrible film, but see, that isn't the thing. I am highly emotionally and physically affected by, so I have like the weirdest empathic reaction to terrible things because I guess when I see them like that, it's hard for my psyche to differentiate between really seeing suffering and not. I can't listen to recorded 911 calls, emergency calls when people are calling
Yeah.
and they're terrified and scared. I literally will start to hyperventilate. I had to leave the theater when my dad took me to see Platoon. We were with some other people. There was a scene in it when I'm not. If you haven't seen it now, fuck you. I can't help you. If you want to like it. Okay, when Elias gets killed in that, I was already so worked up and so upset by the whole overall feeling in the film that I started to hyperventilate and I had to leave the theater. I can't watch things like that without having a visceral reaction to them, in the sense where I might have a fucking breakdown, like an actual panic attack or something like that, in regards to, and it doesn't matter if it's a fictional character. If I see somebody in situations like that, I react poorly. I'll just say that. So I try not to expose myself to those types of negative imagery anymore. But like Noah read a book and they watched the movie in high school called The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. And I don't know if you guys know this story.
I know the book. I know the book. Yeah, it's
okay.
It's kind of universal reading for school children the world over. It's not just for Americans. That's pretty much world over. Yeah.
And it was highly effective to him, and I'm glad that he read it and watched the movie. But when he came home and told me about the story, even him telling me about the story, which I'm so happy he knows the story, because I want him to have empathy and understand the things that people have gone through on this planet. And that's just the beginning of it. But him just telling me about it sent me into a nearly like hyperventilating cry, because I can't wrap my head around it. And I just don't have anything in me to actually process that kind of shit. So I can't watch that kind of thing. I can't see it. So even something like Doctor Who regenerating sometimes is just too fucking much for me. And I know that that's stupid based on what we were talking about. But again, I have some weird shit in my, weird issues.
One of my great failings in life is that I love a good rom-com. Okay.
I love them too. So bad.
I was teased about it for 3 years, but anyway, I do love a good rom-com. And there is one which I think was called Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg, and I've forgotten the other actor's name. It was called Instant Family.
Big Thunder.
Oh wow! Okay.
It's Reese Witherspoon, is it?
Or yes,
Mark
I think
Wahlberg
that's. Yes, that's
okay. I think I know what you're. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And I watched that, and I love that movie. I really, really love that movie. And the very end, when they're in the court, and I don't actually know if this is the way. Obviously, in America, I'm assuming it's the way it works. When families become legally families with adoption and stuff like that, it's done in a courtroom.
Yes, usually the final. Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of not that way in Australia, but anyway, but anyways, I'm watching it, and they're there, and the judge is there, sort of saying, "Do you want these people to be your parents?" And they're asking the children. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a guy. I'm an old guy, and I was there going, "Where's the fucking Kleenex?" I really emotionally, like that really actually emotionally hit me. It's like a movie like that was actually kind of this idea that you had these 3 kids from this deadbeat fucking family who had literally had abandoned them, reacquired them, re-abandoned them. This upper middle class family, couple, had sort of said, "All right, we're going to adopt 3 kids rather than 1." Took them on. Now, I know it's a dream story, and it probably never happens like this, right? But the thing is that, I don't know, it moved me so much. I was like just going, wow, and
I get that.
Yeah, it was like a kid. I don't know. When I was a kid, I still remember, this is a young child, when we used to have holidays, because parents would often be working and they would have problems with, kids being entertained and all this sort of stuff. The school where I went to would hold movies during the week, and you would go back to school Okay, but not in uniform, just in normal clothes this time. And you would go back, and they would play a movie each day, and you could go to school to watch a movie for free. All right,
That's cool.
But they were these family-friendly movies aimed at kids. You know these movies. I don't know if they make them anymore. They probably do, and I'm just so out of touch. But there were movies actually aimed at 10-year-old kids. Spy Kids is probably like what I'm trying to think of. It's even though that movie's now 20 years old.
Yeah.
But they're movies which are proper mainstream movies, but their audience is not adults. Their audience is actually children, but they're not a cartoon or anything. They're right. And there were and there was always something like, like a group of kids would accidentally find out a secret, and these bad people would hunt them down across, fucking Germany.
They still have
or
tons
France.
of those. They're family.
Yeah, and they would have to. It was like Scooby Doo, but a real movie, And we saw
The House with the Clock and its walls.
and we saw tons of these movies.
The Magician's Apprentice and a bunch of them.
And I still remember being really moved by these kids. It was like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but it was a little bit like, for me as a young kid, it was like I felt like someone was making a movie about me.
You know what movie was
for me
that was like that?
Sorry,
go ahead.
But sorry, can I just say this before you say your point? But what I suddenly realised is where that links back to is what we were originally talking about. Like, for instance, you were talking about Black Panther, where people said, there's a movie about me. Here's my hero. And it's a little bit like, I suddenly realised that's what I was experiencing as an 8-year-old child. Someone was making a movie about me.
Yeah.
That was my Black Panther, right?
Well, I get that because we have iconic films here from the 80s. Here in that age group is probably the movie The Goonies, which was a group of kids that were young that got lost. And
that's another one. Yeah. That's a classic example, The Goonies. Although, mind you, I saw that, I think, when I was 18, but I still fucking loved it. I loved it.
I saw it at 14, and I wanted to be Andy, the cheerleader, so badly. Like, even like the actress herself, I watched in anything I could find her in, like Summer Rental with John Candy was next. But because I wanted to be her so badly on screen. Also, the movie Labyrinth with the Jim Henson Muppets and David Bowie and
I've forgotten her name now. Jennifer Connelly.
And
I hate to say that. Watch that movie. She gets felt up really bad. She gets treated really badly in that.
Well, of course she is. It was very badly.
Watch the hand scenes where she's handed down the thing. That's fucking inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, I know the oubliette. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I absolutely recognize what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I was the same age as her when that movie came out, basically. So when I sat in the theater and watched that film, what I saw was me, because I also was into weird fantasy and drama and that sort of thing. So again, I got to see myself on the screen in my mind, somebody like me I could relate to. Therefore, this weird fantasy with David Bowie and the Goblin King and the Labyrinth, and this could happen to me. And holy shit, look at that dress! I could wear that dress. I want to wear that dress. Two of my favorite kids in these movies.
Two of my favorite characters from that movie has to be the idea of a fox done up as a knight that rides an old English sheepdog as a horse. How fucking cool is that? It's like, onward, my great steed, onward. And it's like, and what was it? The pit of eternal stench. Smell. I love that fucking movie. It is so good.
I love that movie so much when my cat had kittens. I named all of the kittens.
Sorry, I can't help it. I love that movie. I love Labyrinth.
I was just saying, I loved it so much that when my cat had kittens, I named all of them after characters from it. So I had Jareth and Sarah and Toby and Merlin, which was the teddy bear. Yep. And did I say Toby? I did say Toby. Yep. There was another one. I can't remember now because I've had too much rum. But I loved that movie a ton. And you know what's cool is that later my very much younger half sister, who is the only sibling I have that is wonderful and not a complete moron, and not even a tiny bit of a moron, which is cool. So I feel like maybe the intelligence came from my dad's side.
Right.
But she is a lot younger than me, and like a lot. And we actually bond over the funniest things. We bond. One of the things that we both love is that movie, Labyrinth. We are both, she was affected by it in the same way I was, but I was 15 when it came out, and maybe she was 15 when she saw it for the first time. I don't know. But that's cool. And then also our ridiculous adult Harry Potter obsession, which is another thing I'm going to be cosplaying with her at MegaCon next year, hopefully, if it happens here in Orlando. On the second day is we're going to do Bellatrix Lestrange and Narcissa Malfoy from Harry Potter.
Okay.
Together. So yeah, we're dorks.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No, hey. I'm fine with it. I know who I am.
But when you're at school, like you said, Labyrinth obviously was one which influenced you so much. Was there any? Because I remember when I was at school, a TV show that came across in Australia, probably a couple of years late, but when I did see it, literally I watched it and I said, that's where I want my life to be. And it was Brideshead Revisited. It was a mini-series of the book Brideshead Revisited. It's been since remade, but the original one with Jeremy Irons.
You're making me feel like a dumbass. I know the book.
Okay, that story then, Brideshead Revisited, and then I've now embraced that story, and I realise it's not my story by any means, but there are so many things in it that I see and I relate to. The idea of people, I love it. I just absolutely adore that story. Mind you, oh, pardon me, I'm sorry. Oh my God.
I'm so offended.
Oh my God, sorry. Did you hear that? Oh, I'm sorry. Champagne. I've got to stop doing fucking
That's
champagne.
what I'm saying. No carbonated drinks.
Oh, I know. But the other one, apart from Brideshead Revisited, which influenced me so much, was
so fancy. Holy shit!
I just loved it. But yeah, there are ones like that. I was going to say. Oh, don't worry. Anyway, we should change the subject because there is something we need to talk about before the show ends. And
how much time do we have left before it cuts us off with another random?
We've got an hour before we've got an hour before we get cut off.
Oh well, I'm going to need to take a break. So maybe if you're going to change the subject, can we just take a quick break? Because again, too much rum. So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back after we relieve the rum. Sorry. Okay, I'm an asshole. Get used to it. I'm an Australian.
That's why I like you like that. It's fine. You don't scare me. All right, I'll be right back.
All right, no worries. And we are back, and I'm sure within the next 10 minutes there'll be another courier knocking on the door. But anyway, we're back.
You need some human contact.
Yeah, I know. I need some food too. I haven't had a food delivery since Tuesday, so I need another resup.
Oh, that's the one you're waiting on. See,
my week's food. Well, my week's food. Yeah, because I do a weekly shop, and it arrives, and then I tend to middle of the week do an alcohol resup as well. So I've got my week's food arriving today. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday I'll do an alcohol resup as well. So I get excited when the mailman goes past. It's like, whoa, a person. Oh, wow.
Well, because you guys are actually locked, and when you're locked down, you're actually locked down.
Yeah, no, we are. Yeah,
we don't do that here. Especially in Florida, although they say that the number of cases is decreasing. You know why? They've been closing our testing sites. Oh. That's why the numbers are decreasing.
Well, as Trump said, if you don't test, you don't have cases. America, if you don't test, you don't have cases. What was his?
What
was
he
his?
says is real.
Can I quote Donald Trump? Well, paraphrase Donald Trump
I
quickly, and then
know.
we'll change the subject. And if anyone still supports this man after this comment, then you have to wonder how intelligent you
You've seen
actually
my
are.
Facebook rants.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
You've seen my Facebook rants.
You have to slow. This was the Axios, which Australian reporter too. Hey, go Aussie! There's an Aussie reporter there. Hey, go! Even though he lives in New Jersey, but anyway. But that Axios interview where he actually with the president of the president of the United States actually said, you have to slow down the testing. We only have cases because we have testing. All the books say that. To which the Axios, I've forgotten his name, reporter said, Jonathan Swan. All the books, and he just ignored it. I wish he had pushed it further, and said, name one of these books.
Well, he goes, what books?
All the books. What the fuck? All the books? Now, so any Trump supporter, what are these books that you talk about? These medical books that you talk about? No, but I'm asking not Trump, because he's a moron. I'm asking the supporters.
No,
what are these books that you people talk of? What are these books? And I want, and this is a dare to anyone on Twitter, send me one of these book titles. Okay? Send one to me. I dare you. Send me one. Right? I'll buy the bloody book.
You're going to get some weird QAnon shit sent to your door, okay? Don't ask people to do crazy things,
I'll have fucking Nazi Monthly turn up or something.
Who knows?
America. Well, I know. Yes. No, anyway, but here we go. Let's change it a little bit. Let's change it. We're still talking America, but let's change it up on positive news. Now, the Democratic Party, of course, announced who their vice presidential candidate would be for the upcoming election.
Joe Biden, and of course, made his decision finally. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And it, of course, is now, I always say her name wrong. Is it Camilla? Is that right?
No, it's Kamala.
Kamala.
Like
sorry.
Like
okay.
the word
Kamala.
Kamala.
Okay. Now, if I get that wrong throughout the rest of the podcast, I'm sorry. I have been drinking sparkling wine. It is not meant to be an offensive statement. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
thought you had champagne, and now I'm not as impressed.
It's
Holy
not
shit!
Fucking champagne. No, we all know it's fucking Italian. It's Italian shit. I'm drinking Italian plonk.
Oh,
it's Italian
but
in
sparkly.
Fact, did you actually know how? Do you know how the word plonk came about? Alcohol slang is called plonk. Do you know how it came about?
Is it, Warren? I have no idea what that means. Like, I've never heard that term.
Plonk.
So,
okay. Well,
no.
in Australia, and it's used a little bit.
We call it hooch.
Hooch. Yeah. It's called plonk.
I don't call it
the
that.
reason why it's called plonk is because during the First World War, Australian soldiers in the trenches in France and Belgium, the only alcohol they could get their hands on was cheap French white wine. Just the real cheapest shit of the cheapest shit, right? And, of course, on the bottle it said Vin Blanc. Vin Blanc became translated by Australians as plonk. And since 1915, alcohol in Australia is referred to as plonk.
Okay.
There's just a bit of Australian history for you.
But see, here's the thing. I feel like this is the missing link theory. Okay, yeah. When people are always going, we can't possibly have come from monkeys.
Well, we didn't come from monkeys.
The missing
we
link.
came from.
Which is
we came from species.
Thank you.
That
I know
don't
it's
exist
bullshit.
anymore.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Sorry.
We
did
understand this?
What?
The people
yes.
with any kind of sense, but. Anyway,
I've heard people still say to me, to this day,
I would like to know
we
how.
came from monkeys. And it's like,
I would like to know how.
we came from fucking species that predate.
Banana.
Yeah,
banana.
Sorry. All right, okay,
no.
All right. Sorry. Why is that? Because they eat banana?
No, joke. I'm sorry. That's an inside joke. No, I was just going to say, I don't understand how Australians went from Vin Blanc to
Blanc.
plonk.
It's rhyming slang.
Yeah, Vin. But anyway.
Well, it's like no. It's like okay. What okay? Salt. What is salt called in Australia?
I don't know.
Okay, Harold Holt.
Dude, what the fuck is going on in Australia?
So it's called rhyming slang. It's called rhyming slang. It's where it's like you remember how we have said before.
Y'all are exhausting.
And this
with
is
this
and,
stuff.
okay, and it's okay. I'll mention this and then we'll move on. But remember how we?
No, that's not what I meant.
No,
I just meant you. Like, I'm so confused all the time about the words. And
remember
stuff
how we talked about how the Australian slang for Americans is aseptic. Remember we've spoken about that before, right?
Okay. Yes, and I grudgingly admit that's right.
Okay. Now, and because so let's do the rhyming slang. Yank. That's what you call yourselves. Yank, right? Yank.
No, we do not call ourselves Yanks.
Well, Yank is what the world fucking calls you then, all right? So just accept that, right? Yank. Right, for Yankee. All right? So Yank.
That's the nicest
just
they call us,
right. Yeah, I know. I know. We won't do that. Anyway, Yank. Okay, so let's go into Australian rhyming slang. So Yank, well, we can't call you Yank. We've got to change that. So Yank has to become, well, what? Tank. Okay, tank rhymes with Yank. What's offensive with tank? Oh, a septic tank, right? So septic tank, Yank. So then you cut it back because it's Australian, but you've got to then take it to the absolute minimum that it must be. So Yank or American becomes septic. Rhyming slang. That's why Americans are called septics.
Yeah, you know what? The only other example of that type, it's really cute though. The only other example of that I recognize, and again, American, and I don't know shit about what's going on in the rest of the world, but there was Ocean's 11, the remake of it with Orlando. Was it Orlando?
Which remake? There's been fucking 2 remakes so far. So,
well, the one with Brad Pitt. And,
the Ocean's 11 remake, not the Ocean's 8 remake. Yeah, yes, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. The Ocean's 8, I enjoyed. I
fucking loved it. In fact, where's Ocean's 9? I want to know where Ocean's 9 is. I loved Ocean's 8. I want Ocean's 9.
Well, we'll see what happens. I did too, actually. It was a great cast, and I thought
it was brilliant.
They did justice to the original ones. And
it was so well done. So
maybe
well
it wasn't the Ocean's 8. Maybe it was the 10th Ocean's, because we had Ocean's 8, and there was Ocean's 9 and Ocean's 10. So it was like maybe the third one. Okay, I don't remember, but there was a line in Orlando Jones, I believe, was the actor, and I might be completely wrong. So if I am, please gently tell me, because holy shit, I've had an entire bottle of rum. But okay, so there was this whole scene where he says, and I think it might have been the third one, honestly, because they were trying to create an electromagnetic pulse. It wasn't. I think
third
that
one.
was.
That's Ocean's. It's Ocean's 13.
Yeah.
That's Ocean's 13.
It's okay. 13. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. I know my Ocean's movies.
Right. It was 11, 12, 13.
Ever since the original Rat Pack with Frank Sinatra, I have loved the Ocean's movies. I love a heist film. So, yeah, no, go for it.
And I wish we could do more. And Bernie Mac is gone, and I'm forever sad. But that scene where he says, like the thing that happened, and it kind of shut everything down. And he goes, we're in Barney. Okay. And he goes, and everybody's looking at him like, what? And he goes, Barney Rubble. Cause he's British, and they're like, what? Like what? He goes, Rubble. Trouble.
Well, trouble. I know.
And so he was like, we're in Barney. Okay. And because they didn't understand that whole rhyming thing, Barney Rubble, trouble, we're in Barney was his statement. And I thought, holy shit, there's so much stuff. Like, language is amazing. And I thought, if that, that's what I was thinking about it, because I have an idea for a series. And even before I knew my sister's name, I knew she was named Eleanor, but I had an idea about a show called Ellie Across the Pond. And it was literally about like a Southern American girl going to live over in the UK and having roommates from the UK. And it was literally about and I still want to do it. It's literally about the the cultural differences in language and the way she refers to things and they think she's saying, and she's saying something else, but they don't understand that terminology. But also this kind of fish out of water thing with the Southern American girl, like a debutante kind of chick living in England, in London, with these people who speak basically a different language, even though it's English. And I just thought it might be kind of fun.
In my head, I've already written the book I'm going to write if I ever write a book. I've already written it in my head.
Do it. Write a book.
This is years ago, 20, 30 years ago. And I've been playing with the idea and what happens to them, these characters, ever since then. I've never put a pen to paper. It's all in my head. But I can give you the basic idea, because it's not really a major thing if I give you the basic idea. It's just a story. But it's basically about a wealthy Catholic family in Warsaw in 1939.
Okay.
And with 2 sons and a daughter, and a mother and a father. And what happens to them for the next 6 years? With the children, the parents, and then one of the sons will marry a Jew. They will end up in the Jewish rebellion. Then they will have another one who will escape to Britain as a fighter pilot. Another one will end up basically in the Home Army in the Battle of Warsaw against the Nazis. And then and I'm not going to say how it ends, but who will be left alive and who will survive to meet the hell that they will now encompass or now embrace in the new Soviet occupation of Poland in 1946.
Sounds hilarious.
It's not meant to be a comedy. All right, it's not meant to be a fucking comedy.
I was joking. I'm thinking it sounds kind of heavy. So yeah.
It's meant to be the story of human courage.
I get it.
And
some kind of heavy stories also need to be told.
But the other thing too is there are things in it that would never happen. I'll tell you right now. One of the brothers will marry. Well, not so much marry, but let's say spend their life. Well, what's left of their life with a Jewish woman, and a Jew and a Catholic will, let's call it, marry. That would never have fucking happened in Poland during the war. That would never have fucking happened.
Never? I mean, I can understand what you're saying. Like, maybe, when you say never, I can understand, like, overall, sure. But do you feel like part of the story, Warren, could be super cool if it did happen and there was like this whole like underground thing that went through to make it happen? People you think would have never.
Well, there was, but the problem was
that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to tell you what to do or anything.
But here's the problem with the Polish resistance during the Second World War, and that is there was the Catholic resistance and there was the Jewish resistance, and the two groups didn't fucking work. Like, so, for instance, the Catholic resistance had communication directly with London. They were called the Home Army. They worked directly from the Polish Free State operating out of London. The Jewish Home Army had no one. Fucking nobody. They lived on the dregs of what they could fucking get. They didn't get parachute drops of fucking machine guns and ammunition. They just had to survive on what they could survive. And their uprising was 12 months before the Home Army, the Catholic uprising. And the Catholic Home Army did sweet fuck all to defend the Jewish uprising. Nothing. Fucking nothing. So it's an interesting... I mean, Polish history is an interesting... I'm not a Pole. I do not speak for Poles by any means. And do I even fully understand Polish history? No, and I think before I would ever write a book like that, I need to learn a lot more about. In fact, personally, I believe you would need to travel.
Research is very important.
Travel to Poland. You need to do a lot more. And I would never dream about actually putting this to paper until that happened. But the concept of the story, it's there.
Hey, look, there's a lot of stories across the globe that need to be told.
To me, it's a bit like... there was a British TV series in the 1970s called A Family at War, which basically followed a family through the Second World War. All the children, the parents, all the rest of it. In Australia, in the 1980s, 70s, 80s, there was a TV show ran for about 6-7 years, which was called The Sullivans, which was exactly the same. Followed a family called the Sullivan family from 1939, as he went past the Second World War, went through to about 1947. Okay, until they realised the war was over, they couldn't keep the show going. They were just fucking doing money grabs. But it followed it. Now in America, I believe there was a fucking mini-series called, it starred Robert Mitchum, which is about a family through, and this family, and it followed them through the Second World War in about 7 episodes. But this book is like that. It's the story of a family, but set in Poland, although part of it is obviously set in Britain, because one of the children will escape.
Right.
Anyway, enough about that.
Warren, I say write the things. And here's the thing about that. If you have to travel to do your research, when you sell the book, you can write that shit off. Ta-da!
Forget the story. Tats returns.
No. Don't forget the story. Include the story, but also bonus. So,
well, the one thing I would
you were talking about. Oh no, go ahead.
I was just saying, in Australia in the late 1990s, late 1990s, there was a woman who wrote a book that won a ton of prizes. It was a story about. It was set in like what was Yugoslavia, the Balkans, with the racism and the breakup and everything of the Balkans, and supposedly it was the story that she told about her family heritage. It was a made up story, but it was all based on family heritage, right? It turned out this woman's heritage was not from the fucking Balkans. It was from fucking Edinburgh, Scotland, via Melbourne, Australia. She was about as Balkan as I fucking am. And the problem was that she kind of just never said no. Do you know what I mean? So when people said, so you're a Balkan woman, she would just go, she would ignore it. And the problem was it would then get to the stage where the story had now become bigger than the book. And when it was then found out that she'd been lying, she hadn't actually been lying. She just never said no. And the problem is that lying, right? And in the end, this woman was just... Permission. It's like, I don't know.
That's semantics, you know? Look, I feel like if you are asked something and you don't answer it, and people assume one or the other answer... I feel like if you're not giving them the honest answer, you can say to them it's none of your business or whatever, but if you're letting them assume things that you know aren't true, that's basically the same thing as lying. You know, and I've been guilty of it. I've been guilty of it in my life. I'm not going to lie. I've been guilty of allowing people to assume things about me because I felt like the assumptions were maybe better than the reality. But you know what? As I've learned, as I've gotten older, that really doesn't get you anywhere in life. You know, that's your own shit you have to deal with, not anybody else's. And, you know, honestly, if people don't appreciate you for who you are, really, then fuck them. You don't need them in your life. And that's a completely non sequitur.
Because what we were actually talking about is hopefully the woman who will be vice president in 4 or 5 months, something like that. So...
Well, yes.
What do you think about the call? Do you think it's... Well, first of all, before we even go on to that, what do you think about Joe Biden? Do you think Joe Biden is the right person, I was going to say man, but let's say person, for this task, to take on Donald Trump, even though Trumpism does seem to be, like, falling off. It's not on the rise. It definitely seems to be on the decrease, but... Elections are elections, especially in the middle of a pandemic. Do you think Joe Biden is the right man? And then we'll obviously move on to the vice presidential pick.
I think a pile of shit is the right person.
Right.
to beat Donald Trump.
This is what Australians call a drover's dog. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. He wasn't my choice. Okay, my first choice. But am I excited about him? Not necessarily. But am I excited about the concept of getting these assholes out of our fucking government? Yes, absolutely. And look, the thing I know, and this has been a point of contention in my family with these people we've discussed having some issues with reality. Is he perfect? No. Okay. Do your opinions maybe say to you, okay, or meh, okay, maybe they do. All right. Some people I know have opinions that say red alert, but they're stupid and also gullible and also no. He's not my first choice. I'm not going to lie. But am I enthusiastic about supporting him and anybody on his campaign at this point, unless they are blatantly racist or something like that? Then absolutely. I have an issue with people from other campaigns who spoke very ill of people that are now our vice presidential nominee, as we're going to bring up in a minute. Tried to degrade them in a way as if some, I feel like here in America, right now especially, society tells young black women and young women of color especially, and honestly, in our society, they are the most highly educated group of people. Women of color, black women, are the highest percentage of college degree holders in our entire country. Okay? Higher than anybody else.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, that's a big fucking thing. And I don't remember what I was talking about before that, because I started thinking about that because it made me think about it. It's the fact. And I have people in my family. Oh, I remember. Okay. There's people from other camps of people that were running for president that have tried to degrade Kamala Harris, especially because we're going to talk about the VP pick, for being, they call her a cop. Okay. Look, I get she was a prosecutor. All right. I get that everything that she did in California wasn't to the specifications and demands of the people from the most far left progressive wing of our party. I get it. I also know that Donald Trump and the people around him are literally destroying the country. And if we don't accept people who aren't fucking pure in your minds, which to me is the same shit as the fucking Nazis wanted.
Yep.
If we can't accept that people are not necessarily everything we want, you're never going to have anybody in your life. How are you going to accept anybody? Because nobody's fucking perfect. What I want to see is somebody who's able to evolve over time when they've gotten new information. It was a reason why I liked Elizabeth Warren at the time. I wasn't saying I wanted her for president, but I'm saying in general, regardless of what, and we're going to nitpick this to death. I've told you before, I was told by my family that I had Native American people in my family. I had told people that. I was told I had people that were African American in my family early on. I told people that. And to say that because when I had a DNA test, which I haven't had, but I know for sure now doing my genealogy, that wasn't true. My mother had a DNA test. She literally has 0 people of color in her background, period. I know I don't have it, knowing where my father came from and when his people came over here and stuff. I know that we're, as I say, Anglo as fuck. We're melanin challenged. And I don't think it's okay to hold something against somebody because they were told that in their life because they mentioned it. Now, do I think I might have used it to sign up for school or something? No, not necessarily, but I don't know how old she was, and maybe it was a stupid mistake. But thinking that you had people of color in your family and finding out differently later, that's not a crime, And
can I just put something into...
want people to stop being assholes.
Can I just put something into perspective here? Elizabeth Warren is being condemned and has been condemned for the fact that she said that she was part Native American, which she then used. Which she then used to help her.
I didn't love.
No, just wait.
I know. I didn't love that
through her university life. Okay, which gave her the ability to, let's say, make certain step ups a little bit faster than she normally would have. Now, however,
I think you're making some assumptions. I don't think she used it through her university life, and I'm not saying I know that for sure. But from what I understand, is it was put on a form, but that doesn't mean that she was given anything special because of it.
But wait, you have to.
But maybe not. I might be wrong.
No, but please, you have to let me finish. All right, in the sense that whatever it was, whether it was in a form to help her a little bit, to step her up, to help her this, to put her into a group, or now. I'm not saying it's right either, but that's her. I'm going to use the word crime. Just please let me finish before everyone goes nuts. Let's compare her to Donald of Orange. Donald of Orange has cheated his way through school. He has cheated his way through university. He has cheated his way in business. Tax fraud be thy name, I am Donald Trump. And we are trying to compare a person who maybe has ticked a box to help her a little bit, advance her career, versus a man who on hundreds of occasions has cheated the tax office, has cheated the American public, has cheated school, has cheated his school comrades, the university he went to, the school he went to, and we're trying to say there, and that Donald of Orange would have anything to complain about Elizabeth Warren? Are you serious? Well, Elizabeth Warren is every one of us. She's you, she's me, she's everyone. I'm sorry, she's free pass. No. Can I just say, she did nothing wrong. She behaved like all of us do. That's just
okay. Well, I'm just going to say, I'm not trying to defend her using that as a way to maybe like put on forms or whatever. I understand how it might have happened. I'm not saying I agree with it. What I'm saying is that what I know about Elizabeth Warren, in the sense that I have liked her for quite a while before I knew about any of this stuff with her background or whatever, which I think is fucking nitpicking. What I saw is that she was a Republican and she was this and that. See, here's the thing. People act like if you weren't born with the most pure ideology in your mind, you can't possibly be a decent person, okay? And here's the thing that I think about intelligent people. You might have grown up thinking one thing. You might have been brought up in a society in an area with a bunch of people who really, like, you were only exposed to a certain way of thinking, and maybe that's what you thought when you were younger. Because I'm going to say I was actually quite a bit more conservative when I was younger, because I grew up around people, not that my parents were necessarily conservative, but they didn't discuss politics, okay? But when I heard people talk about politics on the conservative side of things, in a way, the way they worded it with my mind that was more simple back then, I might have agreed with some of the things they were saying. And I'm not saying I understood the depth behind them. It was surface shit, okay? When you're younger, maybe you're not really thinking about the overall concepts of things. I hope people are now, but who knows? I wasn't necessarily thinking about the deeper concept behind things. If you guys said something to me that, if somebody said something that sounded good, that sounded good. What I appreciated about Elizabeth Warren was that she had been a Republican, but and it's a quote from Maya Angelou that I love. People do the best they can. And I may be paraphrasing. I'm sorry if I am. People do the best they can until they know better. And when they know better, they do better. And what I appreciate about somebody who isn't born with necessarily this ideology that they've stuck with their whole life and they're just militant about it. But if you've had an ideology in your head and you are presented with new information, new facts, and you are absolutely able to process that and say, hey, the way I thought was wrong. Therefore, now that I'm presented with this new information, I see that. Therefore, I'm going to change my opinion on this thing. Okay? That's not a weakness. It's not a weakness to recognize the error of your ways, the way you were thinking was wrong when you were presented with new information, and to change the way you think. Now, she was a Republican. She became probably one of the most progressive members of Congress or the Senate themselves. And people wanted to down her because she had been a Republican. Well, to me, that's just a way of tearing a woman down. It's the same thing with Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Okay. Was she my first choice as president? No, not necessarily, because I really hadn't made a decision yet. It was kind of made for me. It's going to be Joe Biden. I'd have people in my life that are excited about that. That's great. They wanted also Kamala to do well. I'm happy with Kamala. Yeah, she might have been a prosecutor, but the people who were calling her a cop and trying to degrade her for getting somewhere in her life are people who are like, and I'm not going to just say their name right now, but they are married to somebody who is a cop and their son is a fucking cop. Yeah. So like a literal cop. So how are you going to degrade another woman of color for making it as an attorney and becoming the attorney general of a state, even though she might have been a prosecutor and she didn't do everything perfectly? Who the fuck are you to degrade somebody for being a cop when you literally surrounded and love people who are fucking cops? So I want people to step back for a moment. And even if these people are not your perfect ideological candidate, okay, they're also not fucking Donald Trump. And if we don't vote for them, if we don't vote for Biden and Harris at this point, with all the shit that's happening in our country that I have been screeching about for 3 years, and people were telling me, oh, you're just an alarmist and blah, blah, blah. And as crazy as shit has gotten, I still haven't been proven wrong. And okay. I just want people to recognize that just because you're uncomfortable with something doesn't mean it's not the right thing to fucking do.
And can I just say one thing?
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, well, can I just say this? Even if you're not into politics, even if you're not into it, but voting time is coming up, can I just say something?
Sure.
All right. I just want to appeal to the American people.
Go ahead, do it. Right. Say it.
You have a choice of a very large, overweight gentleman. Nothing wrong with that, but he claims that he's the new thing.
Don't lead with it then.
Just wait. No, but he claims he's... I'll fuss it. Let me say this. Seriously. Please.
Banana.
Okay. But he is the new fit. He is the new fit. All right. He wears more bronzer than most American males in the entire nation wear. He puts on his face in one day. He wears baggy, ill-fitting suits made in China and Mexico. He has tried to push racial, sexual, or sexist, misogynist policies for the last 3.5 years. 3.5 years. Well, that was because he was probably fucking porn stars. But anyway, we won't mention that because, of course...
dogging them.
Yeah, I know. All right?
Mention it.
Now,
fine.
Oh, yeah, of course, we fucked 2 porn stars. But anyway, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but he's the fucking moral majority candidate, all right? Mm-hmm. Now, let's compare him to Joe Biden just for a second, can we? Joe Biden's a centralist. Did he make some fucking screw-ups back in his life in the 70s? Yeah, he did. Absolutely he did. But he's made up for them. And in the 80s, all right. But that was also fucking 40 years ago, okay? Okay. He has said sorry for that. He has said sorry. Has Donald Trump ever said sorry for anything he's done? Like grab him on the pussy?
No.
All right? Like for what was it? The New York 5
very exciting
or whatever
they're called.
Like that. You know, when we basically said...
The Central Park 5.
The Central Park 5. He still, to this day, wants them executed, even though they're fucking innocent. But he wants them executed because they're black, all right? Now, let's look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden, he said he's sorry for the mistakes he's made. I will tell you in a minute about my past after this is over. and please remember that because I want to say this because it's important. But Joe Biden, he said he's sorry. He's a fit, active man. Yes, he's older than Donald Trump by about 4 years. I get that. We are pushing the age barrier a little bit in leaders. But this man is fit. He's healthy.
Kamala's ready.
Right? And she's there to take over in 4 years, which I reckon is what will probably happen. But anyway.
Probably. He said he's only going to be a one-term candidate.
So I reckon if you vote for them, you have to remember that she will be the... Anyway, that's another point.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so am I. Now, he lives in chinos, chambray shirts, and fucking sports coats. How tall is that? Not the Chinese-made fucking baggy suits of Donald Trump. He wears Ray-Ban aviators while driving his convertible Stingray. How fucking cool is Grandpa? Grandpa is cool.
He can also walk down a ramp and ride a bicycle
without fucking falling over. Joe Biden is, if you want to say, if you forget about politics, just forget about it and say, who is the cool dude on the block? It's fucking Joe Biden. And you know what I'm doing right now?
For sure.
I'm wearing my fucking aviators while we talk in honor of Joe Biden. And although, unfortunately, Joe Biden's a Ray-Ban man. I'm an Armani man. I'm sorry, we disagree on that. Yeah. So I'm wearing Armani aviators. But we are both wearing aviators, and I am wearing them right now as we talk because he's my man and she's my girl. I think she's great.
That's right. And, right now, I will crawl over broken glass to get them both fucking elected. Yes, that's all I'm saying.
Because also, they're centralist.
I'm
and here's the other thing. But here's the other thing too. They're centralist candidates. They're not far left like Trump is trying to carry on. Kamala Harris is
they're not.
Joe Biden, they're a million miles from being far left. They're centralists.
They're moderates.
Right?
Yeah,
they're moderates.
I know.
And that's exactly what the country needs right now. They need moderation.
Right now it does, just to get us out of this shit.
Out of this shit and back
you know
on track.
what? I don't want to cut you off, but I literally have to take another break because we've reached the point in the show where I've had way too much to drink.
No, I reckon what we'll do is we'll take a quick break and we'll finish off the show. Does that sound all right?
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, simply because I'm the one watching the stopwatch. Because I'm the watch guy.
Yeah.
I have the watches.
You are the watch guy.
I bought an Arnie. I bought a Seiko Arnie from Predator, from the movie Predator. I bought a Seiko Arnie. It's going to arrive on Wednesday. Do you know how fucking excited I am?
Well, you're going to have to send us a picture. Let's put that shit on the website, like stuff like that.
Can we do that?
Like,
can we put?
Yeah, we can put it in the VIP section. We can put whatever we want, personal shit in the VIP section for only people that want to be.
Okay, we should talk about this.
But I have to go. I have to pee, so I gotta go. Okay,
we'll be right back.
All right.
Well, we are back, and we are back to say goodbye. To say, what's it?
No cliffhanger this week.
Farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. Oh, come on, you grew up with the sound of music. All of us grew up with the sound of music. Come on. One of the great... I'll be sorry with you. I still believe one of the greatest movies ever made. I really do think. The Sound of Music. I mean, there's everything in it. It's a family movie. It's anti-fascist. It's about freedom. It's about family. It's about cross genres coming together. People of different cultures embracing and falling in love. It's got everything. Mm-hmm. It's brilliant. No black people, I grant you. But you know what I'm trying.
Oh shit!
But you know what I'm trying to say. It's still
the second movie that I know of with limited black people in it that also made outfits out of curtains. So,
yes.
Maybe that's a racist trope. If you make your clothing out of curtains,
I don't think it was, to be truthful. But I know.
You know what? Look, I've never actually seen that movie in whole.
Really? Okay. Can I really suggest that? Okay, well, Florida's not actually in lockdown, but watch it. No, seriously, watch it. I really do believe that movie is really good. It's a family. The songs, the music. I mean, first of all, if you hate
I know
musicals,
all the music from it.
right? Okay.
I know all the music.
But the story. I mean, okay, the actual story of the real family, little bit different. Okay, first of all, you can't kind of live in Vienna and spend 2 days and walk across the Alps and get to Italy. It's not quite that close. Doesn't really work like that. But the real family, I don't know, they went to Switzerland in the movie. In the real story, they went to Italy because they actually lived in the south of Austria. It's the story is roughly true, but it's fucking
like any true story movie. It's all roughly true. It's
roughly what it is. It was a mixed family that decided to escape from the Nazis. Literally, but here's the amazing thing about the story:
with music.
Well, that's the movie, and the music is pretty amazing. And you don't know, what is it? Julie Andrews, Dame Julie Andrews now, and Christopher Plummer. All the kids are still all alive. They're all. I saw a documentary. They got all fucking. Was it 6 kids or 9 kids together for a reunion in Austria, and it was absolutely amazing to see them now. But
they tried to do the same thing with the Brady Bunch here. It didn't go over as well.
The Brady Bunch, I know. I love the Brady Bunch. So I grew up with the Brady Bunch, even though I was it was probably its 12th rerun by the time I saw the first episode.
Yeah, I didn't really watch it at the time. But
still, I still loved it. I still actually loved it, I have to admit. But anyway, what was I say? Oh, the real family. Okay, the real Austrian family who escaped and would end up in America. The actual relatives of that family currently live in America. You ready for this? They crossed the Italian border with 24 hours to spare.
Huh.
Italy closed its border with Austria 24 hours after they crossed. How fucking lucky was that?
That's an amazing story. Well, you know, the real history is often better than film and TV. Yes. I feel like we're running out of time, though, and I don't want us to get cut off again.
We do need to round this up. Anyway, all we were saying is vote for the Democrats. That's all we're basically saying if you're American. Just
no shit. If you care about America at all.
No fucking libertarians, no Greens. I know green politics is important. I get your concept of libertarianism, but this time around, just vote for the Democrat, get the Trumpist nationalist fucking fascists out, and then hopefully the Republicans will go back to normal conservatism, and then you can have fights between conservatives and liberals, and it will all be free and fair with no problems. Just get the Trumpist nationalists out, and then America can go back to normal. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know it's more complicated than that. It's more complicated than that.
No, listen, it is, but here's a simple way for me of looking at it. All that extra stuff that the Greens and the far left, like the progressives and everything, and look, I'm a progressive and growing more and more so every day, but I can't be concerned about what the frosting on the cake is going to look like when we're trying to keep rat shit out of the batter.
I agree with you. That could not have been said better. That's a perfect fucking analogy.
I don't know if anybody heard me, Warren, because you talked over me.
Say it again. Sorry.
I said that I can't worry about what kind of frosting we're going to have on the cake when we're trying to keep rat shit out of the batter. That's what I said. And I want people to understand that there's no way that we can have Medicare for all and all these things that we need and reform the prison system as long as somebody like Trump and his fucking toadies and cronies are destroying the very things that would allow us to actually get to the point where we can have these things that we deserve and everybody deserves. We have to get rid of the rat shit. So let's do that. And then the cake will be baked and then we can put some beautiful fucking frosting on it, and all of us can enjoy it together. And that's the end of that for me. And my analogy. I'm hungry and I enjoy cake.
You summed it up perfectly. And so too do my aviators. They said, "Go, girl."
So I'll post a picture of you now, so because otherwise how will people know how cool you are?
So anyway.
If you guys, again, anybody who is the first person to tell either one of us what the fuck we were talking about at the end of the last episode, we'll get VIP lounge access, I guess unlimited, and also some random item from my house if you are willing to give us your address, which we're not going to press you to do, but if you want to do it.
Do you know I'm taking a bet who the person is going to be? I'm putting money on it right now. I'm putting money on it.
Yeah, just don't say anything, okay?
No, I'm not. I'm just putting money on it.
And I will keep that to ourselves. And you know what? Apps.
Anyway, but however, I'll be interested to say what the thing is, and I'll tell you what, if it's something from fucking Sheena, I'm going to fucking come to your house and kill you because I want it. All right, I'm going to come and take it off you.
You are the only person who, and that's rude. But you're the only person.
No, I'm not. I'm a rabid fucking collector. I will do anything I can do to get Sheena fucking things. I will do anything.
I have 2 Sheena things on my wall that I'm looking at right now, and I'm not going to give them to anybody other than you, and I'm not giving them to you. So therefore,
I'm only joking around. Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm joking. Everyone knows my love of shit. Everyone knows I wouldn't fucking really do it. I mean, I'm just joking. No, I wouldn't really kill for it.
Look, I have plenty of weird, random things. I was
honoured.
I'll pick something good.
I'll just say something. I was honoured a number of years ago. Irish sent me some photos of paraphernalia that was taken from the 2002
sounds like I'm smoking drugs out of
TV
them.
series, right? But that she has from the TV series. And it seriously was a Sheena wet dream. I mean, it was amazing to see this stuff. And look, honestly, just those, just those photos for me was enough. I mean, we talked about this before. I mean, your family has done more for me than fucking gods have in regards to. I mean,
you don't believe in God. You're an atheist.
Well, yeah, but the amazing thing
so that would stand to reason
that you and your family did for me was just, just unbelievably beautiful. So,
Warren, you got me addicted to Tim Tams, and then you sent me Tim Tams again, and I just want you to know that I had people in my no, there's still some, but I had to hide them, and I literally had to beat people off of them with a stick. Like, literally. I don't even want to tell you what happened.
Okay, there must be a way you can buy the proper Tim Tams, not the artificial ones, in America.
No, I can only get those shitty British ones. No, we have the international food section here, which is a huge international food section because we have so many people from different places. And we have Tim Tams, but they're the British Tim Tams.
How the fuck do the British make Tim Tams?
Shit like that, and I don't know what the fuck they have done. The chocolate is different.
British. Okay. They're British. I mean, I'm sorry, but the British don't know how to do. Look, I love the British. Don't get me wrong. I have a great love affair with the British, and I love the British. No, I really do. I think they're a great country.
Fuck the British. I love the British.
Yeah, because I'm Australian. I'm allowed to do that. That's how it works, right? See, there are some countries I'm allowed to tell to get fucked while I love them at the same time.
America is one of them.
No,
but you don't have to love us.
I can with you, but not with the country. But certain countries that I am allowed to tell them to get fucked to their face while I embrace them and fucking love them. Okay, here we go. New Zealand, Canada, Britain, India, Pakistan, South Africa. Those countries I am allowed to love and fucking hate simultaneously because they do the same to us. And it's all cool because we're a club. It's called the fucking Commonwealth. Right? And we're a club and we're allowed to do it. Right? So it's all okay. It's all okay. I can condemn a New Zealander and say, New Zealand's fucked. but then 5 minutes later say, I fucking love New Zealand. They're beautiful. It's the way it works. Right? It's the way it works.
All right, then. Yeah, all right.
You're not part of the Commonwealth, so I'm sorry. You're just not part of the club.
So I'm saying it like that.
We sit back. See, we sit back in our leather chairs with our glasses of whiskey, sitting back going, Commonwealth, baby. I'm sorry.
But does your whiskey have an E or no E? Okay.
Well,
what's the difference there? I just want to know.
What, has an E or a no E? Doesn't whiskey have an E?
What?
I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. Sorry. What?
The E, whiskey. Does your whiskey have an E in it or no E?
I see.
Lord, this is riveting conversation, and our time's going to run out. So let's say goodbye. And
let's just say goodbye. Let's just say goodbye. Let's just do it now because oh fuck me, yeah, we really do need to do it. Okay, let's do it. Do it, baby.
All right, goodbye.
Do it. All right. Okay. All right. So anyway, any fucking Twitter things we want to shout out? Anything we want to shout out, or do we not do that anymore because we don't care? I don't know.
Buy my friend's new EP on Bandcamp. It's Bummer Deluxe. So buy that. That's
cool.
it. They're good stuff.
Buy that. Yeah. Buy that. Yeah. I was going to say go to Woven Cafe, but they're closed down for 3 weeks. So until this fucking lockdown. So anyway, we'll give them a shout out when they're reopened. All right. So all right. That's it. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Fingers crossed. And
somebody tell me what the fuck we talked about last week. Okay, that's it.
Yep. Well, they did a freebie, don't they? Jesus, is this the most disorganized fucking show there is as a podcast? Okay, and here's another question for somebody.
I'm drunk.
No, but I just want to quickly say this. We are literally into the 3 minutes or less. If someone else could find a more babbling, disorganized podcast than us that they love...
Don't tell me.
I want to know who it is. All right, I want to know who it is. Because I swear... This is the most disorganized babbling podcast there is on the internet. And I...
Welcome to hanging out with me.
Cocktails and conversations. Oh, baby. Let me get my martini. All right. We're gone. All right. We'll be back next week. We'll be back next week. Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. What?
Sláinte, which means like cheers in Irish.
Sorry. I'm a fucking German. What do I know?
I literally just tried to... Holy shit.
I'm a fucking German. What do I fucking know?
I can say Warum bist du nicht zu Hause?
Anyway.
Which is a good thing to say in the time of quarantine.
Right. Anyway, as an Australian, I will say cheers, big ears. We'll be back next week.